loved going to the gym to fight, like to spar, and I enjoyed it. Like I used to get a thrill, and I still do even more now, of like being hurt but hating people. I never had no mercy ever. Like all my training partners will tell you, like as much as I loved them, I'm quite an evil bastard. Like I love fucking inflicting pain. At the moment I'm just like, boxing's just a shambles. Like the best fighters aren't fighting the best fighters. Like right now I think the fight to make at heavyweight is Tyson Fury and Joshua. I don't see, I don't know enough. That's why I say I'll never comment on stuff I don't know enough about. But why can't that fight be made? I just started having like murder with this group of lads, but at that point the club was just going insane. I felt like everyone was having murder when I think back to it. And some lad come behind me and stabbed me, and I didn't feel it. I had a white t-shirt on, because when I looked at it after on the cameras, you see what happens. So I'm just like hitting everyone in my way. And this lad comes up and he stabs me once, and then he walks away. But I haven't moved or anything. I'm just fighting. I haven't felt it. And then he comes back around. And he's like, "Fucking hell, this fucking kid's still fighting." And I remember being in the ambulance, and I was going to the woman, "Just tell me if I'm gonna die." And she wouldn't answer me. And I was going, "Just tell me if I'm..." And she kept turning her head, and I was going, they had me strapped with my arms, and I started like shaking the thing, and I was going, "Just fucking tell me if I'm gonna die." I just think back to myself, and I think when I'm talking with you now, I think like the first few months I had a girl pregnant there. I had no money. I had a little fucking shitty, I was living in a little box room with a little bit of a fan. And what was I over there for? I was chasing something. I was chasing what I'm doing now. A lot of people will come to me a lot of times, they'll go, "Well, what do you think of Conor McGregor? He hit that old fella." And I go, "I don't really give a fuck, he's a fucking unbelievable fighter. I don't really care about his thingy life." People go, "Oh, he's a wanker, him, look at how he's..." And I'm like, "Mate, how could you not change? He's had 150 million thrown at him. He's been the fucking best in the world. He's one of the most famous athletes in the world. And that all happened in such a short time."
Boom, we're on. Yes, and today's guest, we've got UFC's Dan Till. How are we, brother?
I'm good, mate. Very good.
Thanks for coming on the show.
No problem, mate.
You've made a great name for yourself so far in the UFC. Flying, still only 27.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I feel as if you've been about for fucking 10, 20 years. I don't know if it's the noise up you give everybody online and the shit that you do, but phenomenal fighter.
Yeah.
Great story, especially coming from the streets to eventually achieving what you're achieving at such a young age. Phenomenal. So I take my hat off to you, brother.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, I just all trying to survive now, aren't we, with the world?
Yeah.
What's happening? You know what I mean?
It's a weird time, innit?
Yeah. I thought we were speaking before, weren't we, mate? You just got to crack on, haven't you?
Exactly, man. Yeah, keep your head above water. A lot of people are sinking, so it's all mixed reviews. People thinking this and that, but for me, it's just focus on yourself, focus on your family, and then everything else will take care of.
If you don't
business.
know 100% what's fact and what you shouldn't be, like that's as I said to you before. Probably is something going on behind the scenes what we don't know about, whatever. But none of us know. Everyone's like claiming to know. They know what's happening. They know this is happening, but who really knows? I certainly don't know.
I don't know.
So.
People are second guessing. You watch a couple of YouTube videos and it obviously makes people an expert.
Yeah.
But again, whoever's making the YouTube videos, we're talking pure
Google solicitors, I call them. Google solicitors.
They could be talking pure pony as well. So
they're just Google solicitors. Google Google pandemic, and a million things will come up, and they'll go, "Right, that's true. That's Google solicitors, mate." They don't know what's happening.
It's a weird time, but it's got to crack on. I always go back to the start with my guest, brother.
Yeah.
Find out where you grew up and how it all began.
Where's the start? Do you know what, mate? Fucking... I didn't really... Like, I don't like to... I wouldn't ever like to sit here and disrespect people who've actually come up really hard and come from the streets, because I come from the streets of Liverpool, but, you know, it's rough and it's tough, but I've never had this... I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, struggled, there was... You know, we never had money for food or stuff like that." I had a good upbringing. You know, I was a little shit on the streets, but I had a good life, a good upbringing, and my only problem was I used to love fighting. I used to always get into fights. So you know what, mate? I played football for a long time, and I was actually an alright little player. And then when I was like 12, I started going to the gym with my dad round the corner, the boxing gym. And as soon as I hit a bag, mate, that's where it began.
Where did you get that fighting from? Was there anybody in the family a fighter?
No, like me dad, my dad's a big, you know, I'm a big guy. My dad's a big guy, you know. It's funny because I've got the nickname Gorilla. He actually looks like a fucking gorilla. His hands are huge, but you know, he can have. I can imagine me dad. I've never seen him fight. I can imagine he can have a scrap. You know, he's a big dude, but he wasn't a boxer or a fighter. Me sister, you know, I've only got one sister. All my dad's family on that side, all into cars and stuff, and all my mum's side, you know, just got normal jobs. So I always often wondered to myself, like, is there a past relative along the line who was just like me, fucking
Not case.
a bit fucked in the brain and was fucking could fight like fuck, you know what I mean? So I don't know where I got that from. Like, I can't say I got it from my dad, even though, you know, my dad and my granddad got me into fighting at the start. You know, when I was about 11, my dad was like, come to the boxing gym with me and we'll just, you know, you can crack on. And from there, I just fell in love with it. And I just thought, right, I feel like I've learned what I needed to learn in school now. So I'm not going to go to school no more. I'm going to dedicate my whole self to this. So when I was about 13, I stopped. I was in like a program, and it was like a naughty boys program, and I had to go to like a church and do the gardening and that. So I'd do that, right? And then on dinner time, I'd get my bike. I'd go to I had a key for my granddad. He would work on the wagons away and that. I'd sleep, and then I'd bike the gym, which was about 40 minutes, an hour maybe on the bike. And I'd done that every day, and I stopped going to school until my mum found out. And there was like murder over it. And it was like, you know, what do you do? I was like, listen, I want to just fight. I said, I've learned what I feel like I don't feel like I need to learn no more in school, you know. Even though I was probably on the brink of getting expelled and everything anyway. And she was like, no, you need school. This fighting is just a phase you're going through. And I was like, it ain't, you know. I was like, you're going to see. And, you know, I had a lot of... My mum supported me massively, but I had a lot of arguments. Like, my mum was a good mum. You know, she wanted me to go to school, learn, get good exams and all that stuff. And I just was like, nah, man, I want to be a fighter. I'm fucking really good at it. Like, you should come up to the gym and see me. And that's just... From then, I just created something on my own. And then at that point, me and my dad weren't close no more. I just started taking myself off to the gym. And then,
why were you not close?
No, we just like, I've never really spoke about this. My dad will be watching this, but me dad split up with my mum. And then like, we just sort of gradually distanced. Like, he got like a new girlfriend and a new family. And it was probably more to do with me. Like, he made attempts at speaking to me, but we just grew, like, we just distance. You know, I wished him a happy birthday the day it was his birthday, but we don't speak. And so from then on, it was my granddad who was like, my granddad would just pay me subs for the gym. I never had no money to pay the gym at one point, and he'd just pay me subs. So I was biking to the gym. I was getting to the gym any way I could, biking. I was getting the bus. I was getting lifts off guys if they lived around the area. Because with the gym, my first gym, my Muay Thai gym, was like 40 minutes away from my house. But I started Muay Thai by my house with a guy called Simon, and then he moved gyms. He went to Highton, I lived in Malton, which is about 40 minutes away. But that was my first gym, so I was making any attempt to get there, and my granddad would just support me, you know, with bits of money and that. And I was totally dedicated.
Where did you get that passion from at an early age that you knew exactly what you wanted from such a young age?
I don't know. I seen fighting, I seen what I could do, and I seen how quickly, like, my thing was always, I wanted to be technically the best. I wanted to, like, just be a superior fighter, technically. Like, there's fighters who are strong and tough and big knockout power and stuff like that. I just always wanted to be technically far superior. And I noticed at an early age, I had that in me. Because at that age, I was like 13, 14, 15. I was sparring with men and physically bigger people and all the kids who were around my same age, and I was just better. Like, it just got to a point in the gym where I was just better than everyone. There was no challenge anymore. Like, I was so skilled, and I'm not blowing my own trumpet. I was, you know, my Muay Thai coach had vouched for me, and, you know, obviously after Muay Thai I went to MMA, but that's a different story. But at that age, I didn't want to do anything else. I only wanted to train and fight, and that was it.
Passion for it, love straight away. Did you know you could make a career from it? Yes, at an early age. Did you have good guidance from your trainer?
Yeah, of course. Like, he'd take me off to the training in Leeds with all the top fighters from there, and he'd get me fights around the country. Do you know what? My first professional fight in Muay Thai was actually in Scotland in a Greenock. Greenock, yeah.
Fucking crackpots down there.
Mate, I swear, we went in and everyone's just like, eh! And I was just like...
No teeth, fucking...
Yeah, I was just 15, I was like, fuck this shit, I don't like it up here. And then, like, I was like, and the guy I was fighting was like 26, and I was like, oh, fuck this shit, mate, I'm not into this fight. And I was so nervous, I was like, oh, fuck. And then I went in and I was just like, I just smashed him. And then like, I got like 300 quid, I think, for my first fight. And I was just like, that to me coach after, come on, let's get out of here. Because they're all just like, hey, fucking, you scouts cunt. And I'm like, oh, this is mad. So that was my first fight. But we travelled, we went to Canada. I lived in Thailand for a stint. I mean, I've still, the same passion I had then I've still got now. Obviously, you hit speed bumps along the way and the road and blah, blah, blah. But at the start, my thing, I had just all my mates from the streets and that, my thing was just make money any way you can and train to be the best. I always had the mentality, if I ever think that I'm going to be second best, I would have stopped there and then. But I knew I could be the number one at fighting, just fighting in particular. So that's why I never stopped, because if I ever sat back and thought, I'm not as technical as maybe him or him, I think I'm going to stop, because he'll always be ahead of me. I could never live with that deep down. But I know, even up until this day, like I'm still fighting to be the number one. Like in my eyes, what I'm in now, the UFC, when you're the champion, you're at the elite level, the elite of the elite of the elite. You're number one. So that's what I'm still chasing now. But back then it was the same mentality. If I ever stopped for a second, thought, hang on, I think I'm only gonna get to be like number 5 or 4. I don't think I can be as better as that guy. Let's say if the number 1 was 10, I'd have stopped. That was like my mentality. And I don't know where that mentality came from. I don't know if it come from my mother, my father, my granddad. None of them were ever fighters, so I can't tell you right now where it came from.
You've got to have that belief no matter what it is. For anybody watching, no matter what it is you choose, you've got to believe you're the cream of the crop. You've got to believe you're the best, or you will just accept and your existence will just not be as great as it can be, because there's levels to everything. There's levels to the game, man, and if you're at such a young age, it's like you're travelling everywhere, you're constantly wanting to progress, you're constantly seeing yourself as number one. It's hard work and dedication as well. Yeah. How did your friends treat you? Did you have any friends when you were in your teenage years? Or did you distance yourself from everyone?
Do you know what? I grew up in a rough area. I had, you know, my friends, but there was like a point where I was just like distancing off to something else. Like a lot of them, like were involved with, you know, bits of crime and whatever. And you just see yourself, you know, we had no arguments or nothing, but you just see yourself sort of growing further away because you're just chasing something. And you know what's funny? My mum, she still lives around where I grew up. She loves it around there. And I see all the lads and all, they treat me with respect, and they love what I've done and what I am doing. And, you know, I'm not one of them. I don't like the cliche thing. I don't forget where I've come from. You know, like you see a lot of rap guys like, yeah, I still go the hood and that. Like, I don't even know what that statement means. Like, I haven't forgot where I've come from, or you know, people say statements like that, and I think it's their own insecurity because they have forgot where they've come from, and they have let money get the better of them and fame. And I would be an absolute gobshite if I said now, yeah, I haven't forgot where I've come from, money hasn't changed. It changes all of us.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe it changes you for the better or for the worse, but it definitely changes you. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't sit here to you and lie to you and go, yeah, money hasn't changed me. I'm just Dareen Till from this place. Do you know what I mean? I am, but certain things are happening in my life right now, and have happened. They've changed my mentality. You know, I've had loads of money. You know, you get this fame where you walk along, people are just like, Dareen Till, and you're just like, wow, this is great. And it changes you. Of course it does. You'd be a liar if you said it didn't.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling though. To a lot of people I speak to, you become a recluse. People who are then getting it because you can't be asked. As much as people say they don't want to change, when people are constantly wanting your attention, it can be draining.
Oh, of course.
And you find out, fuck it, I'm just going to stay in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm the same. I get like anxiety if I think I've got to go somewhere and I'll get notes. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm going to leave that. Do you know what I mean? And listen, people say to me, do you get bored of like taking photos? And I always say the same, oh no, of course I love it. That's a lie. That's a blatant lie. Of course, you know, there's times when like, maybe I'm having a bad day. You know, up to this day, I've never said no. I don't, you know, for voters and that, but or like if people want to have a chat. I can't have a fucking 10-minute chat with everyone, but there's days where you have your bad days, and I'd be lying if I said some days, oh no, I don't care, folks. And that. Some days you just like, I just can't be arsed. Just let me get to my destination where I'm going, and let me do what I'm doing. And you know, you get a lot of guys, let's say famous guys, and they're like, oh yeah, no, fame hasn't changed me, or you know, I don't care, I get as many photos, I've got time for everyone. No, you haven't, because if you had time for everyone, you wouldn't have no time for yourself.
Yeah, your family.
You have to look after yourself, number one, your family, as you just said. Do you know
Definitely.
what I mean?
So when you started after your first fight, did you start getting a buzz for it, making a bit of money? And
No, I didn't. In Muay Thai, there's no money to be made, mate. I purely just done it for the love. Do you know what? As much as like, I love money and I love cars and watches and houses. Every time, obviously I'm fighting on a bigger level now. Every time, and my coach will vouch for this, every time I'm fighting and the contract comes through and like, I have to sign it. I can imagine a lot of guys, let's say like for instance Conor McGregor, I can imagine he looks, right, I'm getting that much, yeah, I don't like to look at the money, because I think I haven't earned that yet. I need to earn that as soon as I fight, like, you know, the fight. So to this day I can safely say, maybe there's a bit in me that thinks about the money and stuff and blah blah blah, but I do it to be the best. Like that's just truthfully, like I do it to be the best. Do you know what I mean? And that's at the start when I was fighting in like Scotland and getting 200 quid and 300 quid. It was just purely for the love and to be the best. You know, I was fighting in Canada, I was fighting in Thailand, I was fighting up and down the country, leagues, London, everywhere, and I never made any money ever until I changed over to MMA, and then obviously you're going up the ranks. But at the start, mate, it was just purely for the
love.
For the love.
Were you enjoying just the escape of it, just getting out, trying to keep off the streets? And
yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say like that. I just loved fighting. Like you know what I mean? Every day was a pleasure just to like.
Did you enjoy getting hit?
Yeah, I really do.
Is that like a sense of self-harming?
It could be, yeah. I do like there's actually a clip on my Instagram of one of the guys in the gym. He's a heavyweight Tom, and on the video you see I drop my guard and he just wallops me, and I go, good shot. Like, I do enjoy it. So at that time I loved technique and hitting pads, but I loved going to the gym to fight, like to spar, and I enjoyed it. Like I used to get a thrill, and I still do even more now, of like being hurt but hating people. I never had no mercy ever. Like all my training partners will tell you, like, as much as I loved them, I'm quite an evil bastard. Like I love fucking inflicting pain.
Yeah.
Now that sounds bad. That's just my mentality.
Get
I think you need a mentality. What?
You need to be all UFC fighters. You've got to have that psychotic kind of thing to get in there and listen. It's life or death, man. It's no fucking about.
Especially
I've seen some of your fights where you've had them on the floor and you're letting them punch you.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking, what the fuck?
yeah, that's true. That's guilty as charged. But there's a guy who came to the gym the other day. He's been a family friend for years. He's a boxing coach, and he's a hard bastard. He's old school, and he come and watch the training, the MMA, and he was just like, you guys are fucking insane. He's like, you're throwing in the air and you're landing on your knees and your shoulders, and he's like, this is a vicious sport, and it is. I think UFC. I'm not going to say UFC. I think cage fighting is the most vicious thing around nowadays. As a sport, I wouldn't necessarily call it a sport.
It's just barbaric, isn't it?
Yeah,
but it is an art as well. It's a craft.
For sure. To be the best, let's say, to be the champion in the UFC or to be the best in mixed martial arts, you have to ultimately be, for instance, say a black belt in every area. You have to have mastered the art of mixed martial arts. It's not like boxing, you train one art, or Muay Thai or kickboxing. In MMA, there's so many different factors and ways you can lose and win. So to master that and to be the best, it takes a lot of years.
Yeah, but it just shows you how far it's come over the last 10 years to now compete in boxing, which was probably untouchable, and nobody thought anything would ever compete with that until it's just boomed.
Yeah, boxing's a touchy subject, like, because as I started boxing, I love boxing. I've got loads of friends who are boxers, but at the moment I'm just like, boxing's just a shambles. Like the best fighters aren't fighting the best fighters. Like right now, I think the fight to make at heavyweight is Tyson Fury and Joshua. I don't see. I don't know enough. That's why I say I'll never comment on stuff I don't know enough about. But why can't that fight be made?
It's money, innit?
It's money, politics.
yeah.
Wait until they both get to a certain age. So, in my opinion, now UFC and let's say MMA cage fighting has took over boxing.
Who picks your fights? Is it Dana?
Yeah.
Or do you get a chance? Or do you get a say?
Yeah, I think when you get to a certain level in MMA and obviously in the UFC, where your main event all around the world, you have a say on who you fight. Not that I pick and choose, but you'd ultimately want to choose the best opponent for your style. So, I'll speak to Dana or the matchmakers and they're like, we want you to fight on such a date. There's 3 opponents' names you can pick from. Main event, who do you want? I speak to my coach. Who do you think's the best opponent? We'll fight him.
Yeah, and that's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that, yeah.
What age did you go to Brazil?
So I was 19 and I was 19 going on 20. I went on the 25th of December to Brazil.
Christmas Day?
Yeah, and I came back exactly to the day 4 years later, Christmas Day.
Because you fucked off because you get plugged?
Yeah, so I was, at that point, I'd switched over.
Were you a loose cannon at that age, 19?
I just fucking loved fighting. I just,
but outside the ring?
Yeah, I wasn't into like guns and knives. That just wasn't my thing. Like all my mates fucking at that time like went into it and that and were just mad. But I was just mad where I just wanted to fucking fight with anyone and everyone. If there was a problem, I'd be like, yeah, I'm there. And my coach, he loved the way I was in the gym. I trained really hard and I dedicated myself, but then he'd see me going off and like causing trouble and getting into troubles, and I was finding ways to earn money, and I was always having bother with like maybe a few lads, a few gangs and whatever, and I was in a party, wasn't I, and I wasn't having trouble with this gang of lads. I was just in a party and one of my mates was just fighting with this gang of lads. And obviously just fucking being a psychotic, I just went over to just try and sort it. So I just started having like murder with this group of lads. But at that point the club was just going insane. I felt like everyone was having murder when I think back to it. And some lad come behind me and stabbed me and I didn't feel it. I had a white t-shirt on. Because when I looked at it after on the cameras, you see what happens. So I'm just like hitting everyone in my way. And this lad comes up and he stabs me once and then he walks away. But I haven't moved or anything. I'm just fighting, I haven't felt it. And then he comes back around and he's like, fucking hell, this fucking kid's still fighting. And he does it again. And then, mate, for like, I'd say 10 minutes after that, I was still fighting. I was fighting with the doorman. Do you know what? Just to like put it in a nutshell, I fucking battered everyone in view. Like I couldn't be stopped. People were smashing bottles on me head and everything. The doorman were fucking even cracking me and I wouldn't go down. I just went psychotic. And then I got backed up by the doorman and loads of people. My mates were just going mad. Like I don't even know where they were. I got backed into a corner in the toilets and they were like, Darren, you need to, like I knew the doorman. They were like, you need to stop. You've been stabbed. And I was like, I haven't. I was going mental. And then I looked down and my top was just red. It just changed the colour red. And I was like, whoa. I was like, nah, fuck that. And I was on the toilet seats thing and I was kicking the door and that. And then as I've come out the toilet, I'm still fighting. And next minute, I just got like a surge of like I come down and I just went, whoa. And like collapsed on the stairs. And I was like, this is what I remember back to. I was like, whoa, I can't even move. And then the doorman, he dragged me up to the front doors of the club in town. And the head doorman, he pulled me against the wall. And this is the God's honest truth, I remember this bright as day. So I'm sat there and he's going, you've been stabbed, Dad. I need to put my fingers in your wound. So I think he had like army, so he put his fingers in my wound. And he's going, I need you to stay awake. And I was going, nah. And I kept trying to like shut my eyes. And he was going, Darren, I can't let you shut your eyes. You're not dying. He was saying all that stuff to me. So he had his fingers in my wound. And like, I'm just like that, whoa, what's going on? And then I remember like seeing all people around like crying and that. And then I seen like blue flashing lights, the ambulance, and he still got us. And I wanted to go to sleep at this point. I was just like, well, nah, just let me sleep. And I believe to this day, if I would have like went to sleep, I would have died. Because where I'd been stabbed was so close to my arteries. Like even the doctor who did the surgery on me, he's like, Darren, one more little bit and it had ruptured both your arteries, you wouldn't have survived. So like I think of stuff like that. And I remember being in the ambulance and I was going to the woman, just tell me if I'm going to die. And she wouldn't answer me. And I was going, just tell me, and she kept turning her head, and I was going, they had me strapped with my arms, and I started like shaking the thing, and I was going, just fucking tell me if I'm gonna die. And she was like, no, you're not gonna die. And I remember getting carted off to the hospital, and I woke up like 2 days later or something, and my mum and some friends and that were like standing at the end of my bed.
How was that feeling?
Do you know what, mate? I'd be probably lying to you if I said that it meant to me. I was just like, fucking hell, I got stabbed. Wow. I was like, I'm gonna have to kill that lad in the scene. I was like, but a lot of people cared for me, especially in the gym. A lot of people come to see me, and I'm not gonna name no names, but they all come to see me and just give me words of wisdom. And you know, when I got out, I didn't go home at that time. I can't even remember where I was living, mate. I'd been kicked out my mother's. I lived with my uncle, been kicked out. I'd lived with my granddad, been kicked out, gone back. So I think I was living in my granddad's. I didn't go my granddad's, I didn't go my mother's. I went straight to the gym to see Colin. And I remember it was a Tuesday morning. All the fighters were in there, Terry, Mark, and I remember seeing Colin. Colin just looked at me, and I was on crutches, and I just sat on the ring, and like Mark and a few of the lads come over to me and Terry and that, and then I waited till the end to see Colin. And Colin was like, listen, I want to chat to you later on. Like, we'll have a chat and that. I said, all right, do you want me to come back, Col? He said, yeah. So I went to my granddad's, fucking just ate some food, and then I went back to the classes in the night. And Colin was sitting on the radiators, and he said, come over here, son. So I went out, hobbled over on my crutch, and he went, listen, what do you want from life? He's like, what? He's very straight and dry, Colin. Like, as I say, he's the most influential man in my life right now, and has been for years. But he's went, what do you want? He's like, I'm not just gonna blow smoke up your ass. He's like, you've got the potential, Darren, to be the best in the world. I've seen it. I can make it happen. Blah blah blah. But he's like, you're 50-50 now. He's like, you're training, but you're going out and you're just being a fucking moron, basically. He's like, what do you want? And I was like, you know, Col, I don't really know. I just want to be the best. He's like, well, if you want to be the best, I'm gonna send you to Brazil. I'm gonna send you over there. You're gonna stay there for as long as you need to stay, and get yourself dedicated. Don't think about anything else. Don't think about having money or anything. Just fucking go and smash it. I was like, all right then. So, like a lot, I know 90% of people are like, nah, I'm not going to Brazil. Comfort zone, stuff like that. And I was just, at that time, even though I had family and that, I didn't really have anything. I didn't have like. Nothing was important to me.
Were you homeless?
Sorry?
Were you homeless?
No, I wasn't. No, that's what I say.
I was floating about from house to house.
Basically, I had the, like, when I say about, this is backtracking a bit now, but to be like open and honest, I had a great relationship with my mother and father growing up, and me and my mum were always very close. And then when I was like 15, 16, an incident occurred with my mother. I went out, it was New Year's Eve, went out with my friends, my friend Christopher. Come back about 12 o'clock, we've been out, you know, just causing murder.
As you
come
do.
back, yeah, as you do. I said, come on, you can stay in line, you know. I lived in my mum's box room, just fucking small room. He's like, yeah, all right, son. So then we've gone to sleep, and my mum's quite a hothead. I probably get me.
Is that what you get it from?
Probably
then?
get me angry.
Yeah.
I'm two things. I'm very angry when I need to be, and I'm stubborn. And my mum's two of them things. Like, I just woke up to screaming, and my mum's like, at that point, me and my mum were going down a spiral because she seen what was happening with me. You know, she knew at that point she like accepted fucking Darren's really good fighter. Like, she'd been to see me fight everywhere, blah blah blah. But she was like, he's fucking mental. Like, he's loose. Like, he's fucking. I was just fucking loose, mate. As I say, I wasn't a fucking mad criminal. I had fucking done things and that, but I wasn't like involved with guns and knives. I was just fucking wanted to fucking bash anyone. But there was none of this, like, in my head, respect for anyone. I always used to think, who's the hardest bastard in the I'd fucking kill him. You know what I mean? I hope the fucking hardest bastard in the film. Now I was like, what are you on about me? There's that many. But, so, I woke up to screaming and shouting, and my mum was like, you can get out this fucking house. And I was like, what the fuck's happened? I'm one of them, it takes me 5 minutes to wake up. My room was full of sick. So my friend had threw up in the middle of the night. So he's just like sat there in the corner, and he's like, what the fuck's on? And so me and my mum just started screaming at each other. My friends left. So she's at the top of the stairs at this point, and I'm at the bottom. And my mum used to like have all the shoes on the stairs. I don't know if you do that, but you put your shoes on your stairs, and she's going, I want you out this fucking house, you're a piece of shit. And I'm like, oh, fuck off. And next minute, I've grabbed the shoe and I've threw it, yeah, out of anger. And it's fucking clattered my mum's face, yeah. And I've turned around and my mum's crying. And she's on the floor. And I've just went, what the fuck? And my mum had a boyfriend at this point. He's come running out the room, not to fucking front me, I'd fucking just killed him. He's like, what the fuck have you done? What's going on? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And my mum's like just crying. And I've thought, no, I need to just go. I've ran out the house. And I don't even know where I went. I can't remember him. I thought, I'll just give it hours and my mum will be okay. When I've come back to my mum's, she wasn't there. No one was in. So I'm in my room. Next minute, I heard a knock on the door. And it was the police. So my uncle, who I'm very close with, nowadays, he knew, I'd lived in his, not at that point, he just knew that basically I was a loose cannon and I've hurt my mother and something needs to be done about it. Like, I don't hold no hatred towards what he done. So he rang the police. The police was like, there's been a fucking complaint or whatever. He's like, we need to take it down the station. I was like, okay. And at this point, I didn't know what had happened. I thought, okay, whatever. So I got out the police station the next day and I'd found out like me mum's fucking, like, one of her bones had like fractured off the boot. And I was like, what the fuck have I done? I was like, wow, I need to speak to my mother. Because at that point, me and my mum were really close. She's like my best friend. So I went off to my nan's, my mother's mum. And I was like, I need to speak to my mum. She was like, she doesn't want to speak to you. And I was like, oh, what the fuck have I done? Like, wow. So she wouldn't speak to me, and then after a few days, I was with my other nan, who's my dad's mother, and I finally got to speak to my mum. I was like, Mum, what the fuck? And she's like, Dan, you really hurt me. She's like, I'm not even bothered about the fact that you fucking threw a boot at me. I was like, well, Mum, you know I didn't do that, like, on purpose. I was like, I fucking didn't mean it. She was like, well, you've done it. She's like, that's besides the point. You're just fucking mental. She's like, I don't want you back in the house. And I was like, okay. And then that is the story leading up until I was about 19, where I was just floating from place to place. Like, I lived in the gym, I lived in my uncle's, I lived in my granddad's, I lived with friends. I wasn't homeless, and there was never a day where I didn't go out with it. That's why I don't want to sit here and say, oh, I had a hard life, I was homeless. I wasn't.
It's just people were taking you in who could handle you at that moment until you cracked up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, so that was basically the story up until 19. I was just fucking in love with the gym, but I was also just in love with being a bit of a
nutcase.
Mm-hmm. I'm still a nutcase now, but I'm a sensible nutcase. I think before I do things.
It better.
You grow up, you mature.
Do you think the stabbing saved your life?
A lot of people ask me that. People even day to day now, they know about it and they say, I think, if I'm being honest, for a coach like Colin to just totally send me off somewhere else, like as his student, just to, like, I don't know, I think Colin saved my life. I think that incident and Colin jumping in saved. Because I think if I'd have stayed around, maybe potentially, I could have been a world champion, but I don't want to say something cliche. If I didn't find fighting, I'd either be dead or in jail. Yeah. Every fighter says that. Shut the fuck up. I'm sitting there. I'm not going to say that. But I probably was just going down a road that maybe I wouldn't have liked. Maybe a fucking life of crime. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a fucking criminal, because I'm not. I've done fucking things, fucking been arrested and that, but I don't know. I just think that whole incident had to happen, and me going to Brazil and the fucking things that happened over there have just basically, I think the 4 years I spent in Brazil have just moulded me into the person I am today. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not a great person. I've got my faults, but I like to think that them 4 years grind and fucking in the dirt moulded me, because I'll be honest, when I say like, I weren't homeless and everything, them first like few months in Brazil were fucking grim and hard. Like, I was alone.
How come?
Because the day before I went to Brazil, I was fighting. So I'd had that stabbing. The day before I went to Brazil, there was these lads I'd had a few run-ins with, and I was in the pub, like, doing me goodbyes and that to everyone. Funny enough, that pub is where the Smiths, the boxers, the Smiths grew up around. And on that night when I was fighting, 5 minutes before I was fighting, I was speaking to the boxer there, Liam Smith. And the next minute, he's probably just looking over and going, that fucking Dareen, there's something wrong with him. He's fucking, look at him over there, he's fucking having mad with lads again. And I remember just fucking having mad with these guys. One guy glassed me and everything, and I went and got stitched up at the hospital. Come back the same booze, I tried to have like murder. One of them actually fucking clipped me, like with a good shot, really, not a fight. He fucking hit me. I was like, fucking hell, that was fast. Mm-hmm. But got on the plane and I'm like just on this plane, 2 black eyes, stitches everywhere, and people are just looking at me and just sat there like that. Fuck are these cunts all looking? And then I got to Brazil, and Colin's sort of affiliate out there, Marcelo Brigadeiro, who took me in, as to say, was greeting me at the airport, and he was like, what the fuck's happened here, Till? He's like, we need to just change this. And then from there, mate, I booked the ticket from the 25th of December to the 13th of June. I was going to stay there for 6 months. And a series of events just must have, maybe, I don't believe in all, I don't know what I believe in really, to be honest, but maybe the world wanted me to stay there longer. Or I don't know, maybe the world wanted me to have my daughter I've got over there now. It was tough, but the things I got from it, I got to the UFC, I got my daughter, I found friends, lifelong friends, I found a new language, I found different parts of the world that you'd probably never see a lad from Liverpool. So, Brazil was just fucking mental.
Yeah, that takes a lot of bottle though, at 19 to take jump, but that shows you your character to realise that you were going down a fucked up road, that the 2 options probably were, like you say, it is cliche, but prison or dead, because you potentially would have probably killed someone at that age, with the violence, the anger, the frustration. That's only at 19. So once you start hitting 22, 23, 24, you become an even different animal.
Liverpool's a violent place as
well.
Million
percent.
It's funny because you have these conversations with your mates and you go like, oh, he's the craziest. And then someone goes, no, well, he's the craziest. Like, Liverpool's a place where there's a lot of egos and a lot of...
It's full of nutcases. Yeah. I love Liverpool, but it's full of crackpots.
Yeah, I always say to me, like, I'm the hardest in Liverpool. I guarantee I'm not. I bet you there's a few fucking people I don't even know about who fucking wipe the floor with me. Liverpool has got a lot of good people, but there's a lot of violent people who don't give a fuck who you are, what you're, Dareen. I don't give a fuck about you, mate. And so it would have been either a rise to the top in Liverpool, maybe just fucking whatever, or it'd have been, this Dareen Till's getting out of hand, we need to fucking sort him out.
Yeah,
whatever.
Too violent.
Yeah, it could have been maybe a life or death, but
that's all here and now, isn't it? It's all in the past, and
it moulds you.
Yeah, and that's what builds your character, and I think that's why you're so well liked, because you're unpredictable.
Very.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's why people love you. I think that's why you've got your whole city behind you.
Yeah, I like to think that these events and all, I'm one of them. I'm probably never gonna gain. I'm probably never gonna be like a model boy, like let's say Anthony Joshua, who wants to come. I'm not the biggest fan of Anthony Joshua, but I'm just using him as an example. Like, I think he's a fucking terrific boxer. I think he's going to influence him, but he's like in the Google adverts and the links, and he's probably just a great person. And then you've got me, who just fucking slags everyone off at every point. I'm sort of like, I'll just say things what I believe in, and no one's going to stand next to me and go, Dareen, you shouldn't really say that, because some people aren't going to agree with it. Like, if you say that, a lot of footballers are protected by agents and that, like what they can say and can't say. UFC fighters, MMA fighters are a little bit different, a little bit more rugged, and I'm probably the most rugged out of all of them. Like, I'll just say what I believe in and then deal with the consequences after, whether that's good or bad. Do you know what I mean?
It's just your character.
Just my character.
Don't change for no one. It's just, that's what sells fights as well.
Yeah.
And the UFC's like that. You can't, as a free-for-all.
Yeah, but like going back to Brazil, that's probably where my mentality came from, because I was just like moulding myself day by day. I didn't know where the next bit of money was coming for rent. Then at that point I was training in the gym, like with all these fucking mad favela Brazilians. Like, I've been to some favelas and I've seen some fucking things. Like, I've seen about 5 dead people over there, and I've had fucking fights with favela kids over there. Like, the maddest thing you could do, and like Brazil's just fucking mental. And as soon as I
would have suited you to a T then.
yeah. But like a little mental kid like me going there and seeing what real is mental, like poor and favelas and all that, you think, wow, like Liverpool ain't got shit, like England ain't got shit.
It's
on
luxury
this.
here compared to some places.
It is. I was in a great place. Don't get me wrong, the city I lived in was great. It's like a first world country, but just everything. I got there in fucking the start of January, and it's like I seen the girl behind the reception. Obviously, you know, we had the doors together, and you know, in the first few months, you know, I had a girl pregnant over there. Like, Dareen Till's arrived. But do you know, when I think back to it, I think, wow, like fucking, I've got a 7-year-old daughter, like a 7-year-old. I'm 27. I've got a 7-year-old daughter who's just a little Brazilian child now. You know, we only speak over FaceTime, especially now because of COVID. I can't go over there. I had the trip planned to book there, but I just think back to myself, and I think when I'm talking with you now, I think like the first few months I had a girl pregnant there. I had no money. I had a little fucking shitty. I was living in a little box room with a little bit of a fan. And what was I over there for? I was chasing something. I was chasing what I'm doing now.
Searching.
Yes, searching. And you know, what's funny is I can probably say when I got over there, I was sensible. I wasn't. I was fucking still nuts. I was like, you know, I like a drink. I was fucking drinking over there. There was a goal. And every day I'd speak to Colin and Colin would say, are you the best in the gym yet? And I'd be like, nah, this guy's beat me. Colin, we'll fucking beat him tomorrow. Next day, are you the best in the gym yet? Nah. Say what you want to be, Darren. You want to be, say, I am Darren Till and I will be world champion. So I'd say to him, no, put it in fucking capital. Like, my coach doesn't give a fuck. He just put it in capital letters now. I'm Darren Till. I want to be a world champion. Next day, are you the best yet? No, so-and-so's beat me, fucking purple belt. He leg locked me, fucking. Tomorrow, wipe the floor with that cunt. Back again. We haven't spoke for weeks. Where have you been? Sorry, Colin, fucking. Don't you fucking go weeks without speaking to me. Are you the best yet? No. We'll say, you are Darren Till and you are going to be a world champion. Say it at night. That's it. Fuck this shit. Say it 20 times to me and I'll write it. Boom, 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 boom. Right, I'll speak to you tomorrow. And that was just like a reoccurring thing. And then when I got me fucking, you know, going forward in a few years in Brazil, when I got that fight, when I'd beaten everyone in Brazil and I'd won that fucking belt and everything, and the contract came for the UFC, Colin was like, said to me, coach, who'd already accepted it. Colin said to me, I didn't want this fight, but you know what? If I know someone can go out there and do it, it's you because of your mentality. If it was anyone else, I'd have said, don't take the fight. He said, because I know how fucked up you are and how much you don't give a fuck, do it. And I was like, Col, I'm going to stop this guy in the second round. He's like, I know you're at. I was like, Col, I promise you I'm going to stop him. Since I'm here now and I've had a few losses in my life and I'm learning a lot more, I'm still trying to find a way to get, like, that confidence at that time was just fucking unbelievable. I didn't give a fuck for no one. Every day was like, I don't wake up early now because I'm one of them. I like to get up late, like 9-10 o'clock. I used to wake up at 6 o'clock and my daily grind was wake up, go and teach privates, go to the gym, come home, wolf your dinner, go back out, teach privates, train, come home, wolf your dinner. In Brazil, they have the gyms open till very late. Go back out teaching 11 o'clock, right? Strength and conditioning. Yeah. And that was just me every fucking single day. And I was thinking, there ain't no cunt in this fucking... Who's the number one in Brazil? And he's the guy I beat in my debut in UFC. His name's Wendell. It's big, massive, huge black guy with arms like this. And I was just used to think, you're the number one cunt, I'm going to get you. So I was beating everyone. But that was just my daily grind. Wake up, teach, train, but speak to Colin, are you the best wrestler yet? You need to be the best wrestler, Darren, so these cunts can't take you down. So you need to pick me wrestling coach out there, Tim Rubik, his brain. Every day, Darren, pick his brain, Darren, every day. And that was just my life over there.
And why was Colin hearing it? I've watched a few of his videos, seems very nice, but I've spoke to the boys and they say he's actually a nutcase as well. He's saying, why, you seem like a man who wouldn't listen to anyone. Why have you got so much respect for Colin?
This question come up the other day. I was actually speaking to a friend who's having a bit of trouble with his son now. His son's a boxer. And his son's getting to that age now where he's starting to, like, his dad's a big fucking lump and he's starting to size his dad up. Like, I could take him. And he said to me, Dad, I don't know what to do because he probably would fuck me. I have to grab him. He's like, what was you like? I was like, well, to be honest, my dad's a fucking, you know, I used to get a belt off my dad. My dad's a big fucker. I said, but when I got to like 15, I was like, nah, this cunt ain't giving me no belts no more. Not a chance. Fuck that. I'm 15. I'm growing into a man. Try and touch me, son, see what happens, slip bang. So he just said to me, he said, I said, I don't really give a fuck for no one fighting. I said, you know, if someone threatens me, they're going to shoot me, I'd be like, oh, fuck, I don't need that shit. But with fighting terms, me dad, I don't fucking fear no man. I went, but I fear Colin. And he went, why Colin then? I said, I can't even tell you. I said, I'm just absolutely shaking of Colin. And then he turned around, he's like, he trains in a gym, and he's a big fucking dude. He was like, yeah, I am as well. And everyone says the same thing. Like, he's fucking one of the most respected men. I think it's just the way he is. He just takes no bullshit. He's straight. He doesn't have no morons around him. And everything he does, I believe 100% is just for the good. Like, he's not motivated by money, even though he says to me, come on, when are we going to make our 10 million? He deserves that. I don't deserve that UFC world title. Colin Heron deserves that UFC world title. You know, the guys who've helped me through the gym, coming up through the years, deserve that. But ultimately, when I get that UFC world, like I'll feel like when I win that UFC world title, I'll have completed life. Everything after that then is a bonus, because I haven't been looking past that. Like, I'll just have to sit back and enjoy my kids and my family now. And people say, yeah, because you're doing it for your kids. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not doing it for my kids at all. I got in this to do it for me. Yeah, they are going to reap the benefits of their father being a champion and having money and being able to brag to their mates about. I'm doing this for me, mate. But ultimately, when I get that UFC strap wrapped around me, it's coming straight off and it's getting wrapped around Colin, because he deserves it. And that's what my friend was like. He was saying, why does Colin, like, why is Colin the only man then? I said, I can't even tell you myself. I said, I've just got so much respect and I'm so disciplined. Like, I don't put a foot wrong out in that gym. When I'm in that gym, I don't put a foot wrong. Like, I've never answered them back. I've never done as what I shouldn't do. It's outside the gym. He hates me. Do you know what I mean? Like,
the cameras are off.
Well, I've had a few belts off. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing that for? Like, when I got caught robbing the taxi in I was about to say Marbella because we were talking about
is that another one?
Yeah, in Tenerife. And I remember just getting the phone call off Colin and my friend John, and like, you fucking come when you got back here, we're gonna fuck you. And I was like, that's me. Well, you're not gonna fuck me if Colin's gonna fuck me. And I got back and Colin's just like, you fucking little cunt. He's grabbing me. And I'm like, Colin, I'm sorry. He's like, get up to the office now. He's got an office. He's like, get up there now, you little cunt. And it's been that way since the start with Colin, and he's just the only man. Because if you said any other man now, I'd say I don't really give a fuck.
But he seems to have ingrained that winning mentality. See that repetitive with believing yourself, you're going to be world champion. You tell yourself that stuff enough, you will eventually believe it. He seems to be on the path of the law of attraction and knowing what's going to be done and believing in yourself completely.
I think totally. There's method behind what he says and what he does. And to go back to it, I'm like trying to find that what me and Colin used to have, because we see each other every day now. But in Brazil, it was just a tad different. It was just like every single day he was on me, and every single day my goal was just to not even be the best fighter in the world. It was to just annihilate the guys in the gym. And that, I'm not saying that in a bad sense. I don't want to injure long-term injure my partners. But his thing was, you need to be the best in that gym, then you need to do whatever it takes. And don't get me wrong, when I was in Brazil, like, I'm not coming off here as I was 100% dedicated. I was, but on a Friday night, I'd still go out and have a booze and do mad things. Do you know what I mean? It was just a bit more. It was a little bit different because I had nothing. Didn't have anything. I didn't have. I remember I used to question myself on a Friday when I'd be paid, and I'd be like, right, you've got enough money here now to either pay your rent or eat sushi. Yeah? And sushi in Brazil is lovely.
A luxury.
It's a luxury. And at that point, I didn't have that luxury, so it was either pay your rent or eat sushi. Can you guess what won every time?
Sushi, mate.
Won every time. And there used to be the girl who used to fucking collect our rent. She was an old woman. She was a nice person, but she fucking...
Don't take one for the team, did you, every month? You tell us the truth,
yeah,
mate.
I have to tell us. No, I didn't. You know when you say that, I should have took one for the team now, because the murder I used to have for it over fucking missing me rent. But James, do you know what? If I could rewind time now and, you know, take one for the team, I think I would. But that was it every Friday, and then she'd be knocking on Saturday, where's the rent? And I'd be like, oh, I've got no rent. I'll have to just pay you fucking. I have to pay you next. I've always had this mentality, mate. You know, where with money, if I haven't got it, I'm just going to tell you I haven't got it. Like, if I owed someone money and they're like, they say, I know they're fucking just mental. If you don't pay them that, then they'll get... I'll just ring her, listen, I haven't got your money, you know, I just have to expect what you're going to do to me.
Yeah.
You know, like,
do you feel as if something's kind of amiss? There's a wee link there from being 19 to where you are now. Do you not feel as if you've got that fire, the killing mentality that you had then to now? Do you think there's something that you need to improve on?
See, as I say, James, there ain't no one here next to me saying, Dan, say this, say that. I'll say to you what comes to mind, whether it be good or bad. I think that's the best remedy. Now, that's lost me sponsors in my life. That's probably lost me fucking friends in my life. Whatever, but I'll say what comes to mind. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a great person. Like, fucking, Do you know what I mean? But like, things happen in your life. Like, you get to this stage now. Like, a lot of people will come to me a lot of times. They'll go, "Well, what do you think of Conor McGregor? He hit that old fella." And I go, I don't really give a fuck. He's a fucking unbelievable fighter. I don't really care about his thingy life. People go, "Oh, he's a wanker, him. Look at how he's..." And I'm like, mate, how could you not change? He's had 150 million thrown at him. He's been the fucking best in the world. He's one of the most famous athletes in the world. And that all happened in such a short time. Do you know what I mean? Like, can you just imagine? Like, he's got 50 million followers on Instagram. He's got fucking millions. He's got every cunt wanting a piece of him. That's all happened fast. Now, man, happened like that. Obviously not on his scale. I'm still working to get there. But I come back from Brazil and just had fights, then had my big fight, and then just like came into money, cars, watches, fame, glory, people, everyone wanting a piece. Do this, do that, do that. And it's just like, you sort of lose which way you're going. Like, am I going, like, there'll be days I wake up and I'm like, I'm putting too much time and effort into like my brands here, like my watch brand or Raw Dog, or I'm putting too much time and effort into building my house up. And I think, like, Darren, fuck everyone off, shut your businesses down, fuck your bird and kids off, put them in the street, get back to fighting. I'll have them days where I wake up and I'm like, no, you've put too much time into this. And in Brazil, there was none of that. In Brazil, it was literally just train, eat, drink fucking beers, fight. Train, eat. There was no money, there was no clothes, there was no cars, there was no bills.
No responsibilities.
There was nothing. There was make your money for your kid and fight. And just do that. And that was it, mate. Now it's like, I've got responsibilities in Brazil. Like, I can't miss a payment. With my daughter, I had to go to court and everything over that. I have set up payments monthly. I pay way more than I should anyway. I always give extras because I want to see my child have everything. But I've got that. So every month I'm thinking, right, I have to pay that. Right, I've got to pay for my house. Right, I've got to pay for the cars. I've got to pay for my 2 kids here. You know, does my mum need money? Is my granddad okay? Are my businesses doing good? Have I put that post on Instagram? Oh, so-and-so asked me to tag them in this story. I'm not getting nothing out of it, but just because they've asked me, I feel like... I'm not one of them. I won't do it for him, but... You know what I mean? Just got all that, and it's like... Darren, fucking hell, you forgot about fighting. You forgot about the most important thing that you're here for.
What's got you here?
Yeah, what's got me and what I'm doing. Like, if you said to me now, Darren, I'll give you £1 billion, you can fuck, I'd say, fuck your £1 billion. I'll earn that on my own. I want to be a champion.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not doing things right now to be the champion. Like, don't get me wrong, I go in the gym every day and I give me all. Like, I just give me all. Like, my body's broken because of how much I give. I'm a dedicated trainer. But then outside, maybe I'm getting sleepless nights. Maybe I'm drinking more than I should. Do you know what I mean? Like, my diet's not strict. I'm putting too much focus and energy into my brands. I'm putting too much focus and energy into going to get my car a different colour. That's all. Why the fuck am I doing that? It's all bullshit. Don't get me wrong. Like, my business and my brands are important, but they're all just there. The things that should be important to me, and every day I should wake up, is gym, family, gym, family, gym, family. Mm-hmm.
But you're identifying with it now. But now you know it's time to get back to basics.
Yeah.
You're only 27. The next 5 years of your life is when you're going to be at your prime. I believe you will win a world title within the next 18 months. You know that yourself. You've got that fire. You're identifying with these wee things now. It's just outside noise. When you're coming from the streets, basically homeless, floating around, and then boom, everything comes. You're thinking, wow, this is great. And you realise, wait a minute, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, and Liverpool's a place like that. Like, as much as I love Liverpool can give you distractions, the nightlife, the fucking, your friends, oh, let's go and do this, we'll do that, we'll go. But don't get me wrong, I'm not just blaming it on Liverpool. As you said, we had the chat before, if you're going to blame something, you've got to blame yourself. You've got to take it into account. Yeah.
Are you easy led?
Yeah, very. Like, I've got an addictive personality. Like, I can't get into something. Like, the guy asked me before, he's like, do you play poker, Darren? And I'm like, I probably couldn't get into that poker because I'm so addicted to stuff. Like, I'd probably just lose my head.
Start smashing people and you lose your money.
And also smashing money, because I'm like, I'll put 100% in. I've always got this mentality, it's either nothing or 100%. So I know for a fact, if I enjoyed poker, I'd be 100%. So I'd be like, that. Then the main focus again would get lost. You get what I'm saying? So I am easily led. Like, if my friend rang me up tonight and was like, Darren, I've just got this new car, let's go out racing. I'm there, don't worry, I'm fucking there in 5 minutes. Whereas other people say, oh no, I need an extra hour in bed. I'll think, nah, fuck the hour, I'm going out racing cars with my friend. Or, you know what I mean? Darren, I've just got a new quad here. Are we out on the quads? Yeah, I'm out. Do you know what I mean?
Being in Brazil for 4 years, you've probably, it's not as if you were in prison, but you've probably felt as if you've missed a big part of your youth. So you're maybe reliving a bit just now, maybe the last year or two, and you just need to be careful that you don't lose it all fast,
much.
yeah, because it is all bullshit. You don't want to be sitting at 32 saying, I could have been the contender, I could have been the world's number one, because you've been so fucking close.
Everything should be moderated as well.
Yeah.
As you said, like I did miss that part. All my friends were going to holidays, tribeating and festivals. I was just fucking grinding with a daughter in Brazil. Do you know what I mean? Like, everything should be moderated. Like, as you said to me, I don't want to get too... I'm addicted to my podcast now, but I don't want to be 100% crazy over it, because then it becomes you. Same as fighting. You can't train 24 hours a day. You can't fight a fucking 100 times a year. That's to do anything in life. If you have 20 fucking... bananas are good for you. If you eat 20 bananas, they're bad for you. Everything should be moderated. So same with me. Yeah, do that now and then, Darren. Like, last night, me and my friends went out for a few drinks. We haven't seen each other for months, obviously, COVID. That's okay. There's no problem with that. Now imagine just every Friday and Saturday I was training and then just going out drinking.
It just defeats the purpose.
Defeats the purpose of what you're doing.
Would you ever think about moving away again for 6 months, for a year, back to Brazil?
I've had the thoughts. I've actually had the conversations with Colin. I've said, it'd be
back
good.
to your roots.
Yeah, I've said, like, we should do a few months out in Dubai, Col. Or I can even go, if you give the go ahead, or, Brazil. I've got a setup in Brazil. Like, my setup's there. I'm just go whenever I want. But I would also... I'm one of them, me as well. Like, I'm not trying to say I like to run away from my problems, but I like to get away. Like, people, something could happen, and be like, I need to get off here. And be like, nah, you're running away from your problems. Nah, I just need to go and clean my head, man. Like, I would ultimately love to just get back to Brazil for 6 months, or we've got a set up in Dubai, go to Dubai for 6 months, or I like doing little things like that. I've done it to Thailand, I've done it to Romania, I would love to do that. I've actually had the conversation with Colin. I think it's good for the mind. Just then you don't have these, like, every day you're just here there in your car, you got your responsibilities. If I went to Brazil now, I ain't got nothing over there. Yeah. I'm only going there to train, so every day it'd just be, everything's focused around training. Do you know what I mean?
And it's constant. If you're driving about here as well, you're constantly on edge, because even though you don't care, you still do, because you feel as if you have to give your attention to people who want it, and it drains you, mate. You've got to protect your energy, and if you're thinking of going away for 6 months, I believe that's probably the right decision. I ain't a coach or a trainer, but just speaking to you, it's thinking, right, fuck it, I'm going to clear out the noise, get back to basics, and really focus on becoming that world champion. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
It looks like Connor's doing the same thing now. He's obviously had his rise and maybe a little bit of a tumble, but like when you look at him now on social media, it looks like he's in just a little cupboard of a gym. Of course,
you've got to be.
It's like he's back
you look at his first videos, I'm going to be double champion, I'm going to get all the money I want, including yourself, I'm going to be, nobody can beat me. Yous had the belief then, but same as Tyson Fury, when your goals are set, the law of attraction kicks into play, you've focused on it, you already believe you've got it. When Conor McGregor won the 2 belts, he kind of achieved everything. The fire kind of goes out a bit, and you feel as if what's there to fight for? Same as Tyson Fury, won all the belts, all the money, end up the biggest depression ever. So it's again...
I've actually spoke to him about it.
You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Like, he says that, and people actually don't believe me. I was just fucking like close to suicide every day, and I was just waking up and I was fucking smashing the fucking
booze and gear,
and the booze, and I was fucking driving me Ferrari, and I wanted to fucking kill myself and that. And I watched it on the Joe Rogan as well, but I've actually spoke to him personally about it, and he's just like, I don't know what I was doing that, and then something just clicked, and he was like, nah, fuck this, mate, I can be the best here. Why am I fat as fuck? What am I doing this for? And then now look at him, he's like my biggest inspiration. I just look at him, I think, what, he's the main fucking man, mate. Phenomenal, the shift in the mindset. But again, these are the ones then who's been there, and kind of the fire went out a bit to go, right, what made you change? They've got the key, they've done it. It's to block out all the noise. Everybody wants a piece of you. I think, as you said to me as well, I'm one of these people, mate. I'm all or nothing, but I'm easily led. So I'll be all in, like I am very easily led. Like, as much as I've got a strong mind, I've got a very weak mind, because if you put 10 cheeseburgers in front of me now, I'm eating them.
So would I.
You don't have to make weight though. Same thing. I actually seen an interview. I feel like I keep harping on about Conor McGregor, but I seen he done a documentary, and he said, we have rules in this house in the fridge. Just meats and processed and eggs and stuff like that, because if someone puts a cake in the fridge, I'm going to eat the thing. And I'm the same. Like, if I had to make weight next week, and you put 10 burgers. I just do not give a fuck what anyone says. Colin could even be there. I'm eating them 10 burgers, mate.
Do you think that fight could ever happen at 170? You and Conor McGregor?
No, I think that was just like
at that time when he was flying.
Yeah, that was a little funny thing. Like I don't see me and Conor ever fight. We were never going to fight. I was at welterweight for the time being, and I remember going to Anfield, and my dream is to one day fight at Anfield. And I remember thinking I could fight Conor here if he ever came up to 170. You know, imagine a fight like that. But that was never going to fight. Conor McGregor's like a fucking. I know he's fighting at welterweight now, but he's a featherweight. I'm like, I know I'm gone up a weight now. I'm like a middleweight, but even with me time off after Whittaker, I'm like, I'm fucking sizing me. I'm like a fucking light heavyweight now.
Yeah, it's phenomenal what Conor McGregor's done to be fighting at 3 different divisions, to winning 2 belts, to have created everything that he's set out to. You've got to take your hat off to that. Your hat off to him, especially when you came from the streets as well. But again, to be then becoming on path to be a billionaire, that shit's going to affect you, because you're thinking, what the fuck is going on? Do you know what I mean? To be flying on private planes, to be on welfare, to then flying in private planes, it's nuts, because you're not taught. Has anybody ever come into UFC and tell you how to manage money?
It's a funny. See, I know the footballers and all that, they have agents, they have people around them. Do this, don't do that. Do that. And come on, let's say for instance, one of the footballers up and coming. MMA is a bit more rugged and rigid. Like I was telling you about when I was sponsored by Gymshark. Like, so when they initially came to me, it was like, we looked at their brand and it's like they're like sort of they're targeting the fitness model industry, like your IG influencers. That's what they're. They're $1 billion company now. Yeah. They've absolutely smashed the back off.
Fair play, man.
So I remember them coming to me, and I remember Colin saying to me, "It's mad the way they want to sponsor you, Darren, because you're totally against everything they're there for. Like you're just like the first meeting we had with them. I remember them saying, Darren, you see these memes you put up in like 2017. Don't do that while you're sponsored." But I was like, fuck, it was a meme, right? And it was like a little fucking gremlin stuck on someone's body, and the meme was like when you've had a wank and you can't be bothered washing your cum off, and it was like, it was disgusting. He's like, Darren, and I was thinking, okay, I can moderate it, but you aren't half playing a ballsy game, getting involved with me. And from the start, like the guys who came to me and sponsored me, they're great guys, they were sound and funny, but I was permanently being told off, because like every day I just wanted to offend people on Instagram. So I'm putting memes up and I'm offending so and so, and I've done this and I've done that. And it was like it was a mad relationship, because they loved me and they were like, yeah, this Darren's going to be a champion. We love everything he's about. He's about the streets of Liverpool and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, their company head and their company based is all about like these Instagram
clean
fitness.
cut.
Yeah. So clean cut. I was their first ever like professional athlete, like fighter, let's say, that signed with them. And, great relationship, but from the off, it was just always like that. And then I had obviously my first loss and then my second loss, and then like the taxi thing happened, and they sort of was like, we're going to have to let you go, Dan. And I never hold no hard feelings towards them. Maybe it would have been nice to speak to them face to face and that, but...
So they didn't do it face to face?
No, the guy who I had a good relationship, he just rang me and he's like, Darren, I think they had bosses involved, like all
did they use that as an excuse because you got a loss?
Could be. I don't know. To this day, maybe they thought, he's had 2 losses here, let's...
Because you've already been on social media. Me, Craig and Tony were talking beforehand, like when people give you shit, you just say, listen, I'll drive to your house and shag your ma. And I laughed at that. It's funny, man, but... Why can you not give people shit back?
Listen, it's a weird world we're living in now. Like, I know everyone, probably 90% of the people that follow me on social media probably like fucking love me, and the other 10% probably just like, I just follow him just to see how much of a fucking dickhead and a moron he is. But you see, my whole philosophy on social media is, this thing has come along now, this social media, and it's blown up, it's massive, it's huge, and everyone's just got an opinion. Everyone can voice their opinion. Anyone can give you shit. Like I get messages sometimes. I'll get like requests. I remember the first request I got that I showed my girlfriend, and I went, look at that. This was last year, and I went, look at that, and she went, oh my God, what the fuck? She's like, aren't you bothered? I said, how can I take that seriously? Someone had messaged me and was like, I'd put a story up on Instagram of my child, and someone had messaged me going, oh, I'd love to bend that child over and fuck her up the ass. That my child was like 1.
That's a different thing, man.
That's a different level,
Yeah.
right? And I just looked and I went, fuck me, mate. Now, that's social media. People can do that. People can make private profiles and do that.
If you got that profile, we can put it up in the camera when you're speaking about it.
No, do you know
that a
what?
fake account?
It was just a fake account. It's just a message, blocked it, whatever. But 90% of my messages are just fucking great messages. Darren, this, that, can you do this? Darren, I'm a fan. And you get the 10% where it's like, and especially how I've got my audience, like, my fan base are a little fan base on Instagram. It's all like, I think they just wait for me to comment and give shit, and they're all there like with the popcorn, like, oh, it's gonna go off. It's gonna go off. Like, I've got a brand made of like
Causing shit.
So causing shit to one of the other fighters. You know, Mike Perry, yeah. So that is my whole thing. But my mentality is I just don't take social media serious in any way or shape or form. Right now I've got 2 businesses I've opened with it, and they're all online, social media based, and they're you know, they're my things. But everything else, like, I just don't take myself too serious. I just try to have a laugh. I try to put up stuff that I think's funny. If you follow me, you think it's funny, sad, we can congregate, then I'll put stuff up and people like, people comment because they want to reply. So people be like, Darren, you fucking cunt. And I'll be like, your ma's a cunt, you silly little cunt. and then they message back on, love that, mate, love the reply, big fan. That's like what I've created, but it's cause I just don't take social media serious in any way, shape or form.
How did the beef start with you and Mike Perry? Was it true that you wanted to corner his fight and then fight him after the fight?
I think he's going to fight me when he ultimately sees me. I'm going to have to like have some security because he's a hard little bastard. But no, it's a funny story, Mike. Me and Mike had an argument in 2017 after my fight with Cowboy. So he got up on the cage and I was just like, we can fight. And then I seen him after that on the bus with his girlfriend, and I'm like, all my fans, I had like 5,000 fans. I'm like, all my fans are with me. I'm not going to go and start some shit while he's with his girlfriend. So I just looked at him and I just give him a nod. And then I seen him at the airport. And some of my friends who were like right up for the fight, they were like, I'll go over now and just take his jaw off. And I was like, you can't do that, mate. He's with his fucking girlfriend. So, you know, I just like sort of looked at him, nodded. And then in 2018, we was at the same hotel in the UFC. And it's actually on video. He just come over to me. He's like, no, he said to me on the bus, he was like, do you want to spar later? And I was like, yeah, all right, so I'm thinking he wanted to go to the gym with me, like to do a steam and sauna. That's genuine. And I thought, fucking mad on him, does he want to see me dick or something? So then everyone was filming. He comes up to me outside the hotel reception. He's like, are you up for this later, this spa? And I said, yeah, Sam, whatever time. He's like, and he turned around and went, I haven't got no gloves. And I went, what? I was like, what do you mean? I was like, you want a spa? I was like, I thought you wanted to like go to a spa. And he's like, he's fucking mental. He's like looking at me all confused. And I went, yeah, if you want a spa, we can spa. So then later on that night, he's like, messaged me. He's like, are you ready? I was like, yeah, Sam, let's go. Went down to the gym in the hotel, and we done like 5 rounds of sparring.
Who won?
I'll never ever say.
Never?
Never ever say me. I don't think, he's actually said loads of times, I beat Darren in that spar, I busted his face up. If that makes him feel good and sleeps at night, and that's great for him. But this is the thing. I could go to Tyson Fury's gym now and beat him up in a spar. He's actually come to my gym, we sparred, and I took him down. I'm a MMA fighter. Imagine me going around saying, beat Tyson in a boxing spar today. That sparring means absolutely
nothing.
Fuck all, jack shit. You didn't get paid for it. No one's seen it. Sparring's different. You don't have the nerves, the crowd, everything involved. Yeah. So for me to sit here and go, I won Mike Perry in the spar, that's bullshit. Because even if I did or I didn't, it doesn't mean a thing. Because then we could fight and he could just go, boom, knock me clean out. What really matters, the spar that I beat him in, or the knockout he just placed on me in front of everyone.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. He's come out and said loads, and I battered Darren in that spar.
Is he using your name to get recognition?
Do you know what? He's had a lot of recognition since we've been arguing. I mean, I know he's completely fell out with me. I know he's 100% like just probably hates me, but.
Is it proper hatred, or is it just banter to get?
No, I think it is proper hatred, because we were having banter, we were messaging each other, and I was messaging, I was saying, come on, this was the first lockdown. I was like, come on, let's have a bit of banter. Come on, let's fucking skit each other. And he was like, yeah. Now, American humour and British humour, it's two different things. Yeah. Like, a lot of the Americans who follow me are right on my humour, so they don't get offended or they're on it. But especially my humour, like I say to everyone, What, dark, very dark. I can go as dark as you want. Like, don't let all that offend you, stuff and that. So we were having back and forth, calling each other fat cunts and blah, blah. And then one day I just was like, listen, you little fat cunt on his hands. Like, I will fucking smash your jaw clean off and then I'll raw dog your beard. And I didn't mean anything by it. And the post just went astronomical. I think it got like 150,000 likes. And I think it got like 10,000 comments. And my DMs were just, I went, wow. Because I always say it with my friends, I was like, raw dog. This was before I even ever created the brand. And the post the next day got deleted. And Instagram deleted my account. They do that on the regular now. I'm probably going to get deleted soon. And from that, I just didn't see or hear of him. He blocked me off everything. And I was like, nah, he's not serious here, is he? And he was. And from that, he was like, because I think he just met his current girlfriend who's pregnant now, and he was like, nah, fuck this guy telling him. And I was like, is he being serious? And then as time got on, he blocked me but started putting stuff up, so I couldn't respond. And then I was like, yeah, he genuinely has got hatred for me now. And then he done like interviews like, if I ever see Till, it's off. I'm gonna fuck him. I wouldn't spit on him if he was on fire and all that. I was like, whoa, mate, you need to calm down. You're in your feelings too much. Fucking hell, all right. But it offended him. What can I do?
It is what it is, isn't it?
That's his problem. That's not my problem. If you get offended by something I say, that's your problem. Tough luck. That's your problem. Yeah. I couldn't really give a fuck. Like the funny thing is, I was on Twitter last week, right? And my management company actually messaged me the other day, MTK, and they were like, Darren, we've had thousands of complaints in about you on Twitter. You fucking offended the transgender. And I was like, what? So there was a transgender girl last week on Twitter, and there was 2 posts, and some guy had said something like, what if I call you a tranny? And she's put it up on that. But the post on the left, he was talking about like a suicide thing and that, and I replied, to be fair, he's not wrong. She must have thought I was saying about her being a tranny. I couldn't give a fuck if she's a tranny, black, white, yellow, fucking purple. I couldn't give a fuck. And then that was it. The Rainbow Brigade, as I like to call them, just swarmed in on me on Twitter. They were like, you fucking racist, this, that. I was like, even if I said, to be fair, he's not wrong, how's that being racist or homophobic? It's not. I couldn't give a fuck if you've got a dick, a fucking fanny or whatever. Do you? That's what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? Like, if people are getting offended, that's your fucking problem, man. Like, there's things that you can never cross the line. You can't. Racism is wrong. Being a homophobe is wrong. Them stuff are wrong things. And if you are, you probably are a piece of shit of a person. I'm not homophobic. I'm not racist. I just
like to stir shit
I'm just
up.
on the line.
Yeah.
I stir shit up. And if you get offended by a post I put up about you, I was telling you about the Fiat 500 slags, that's your problem, man. I'm just having fun. I'm not trying to be serious. I'm just laughing at myself. I'm laughing at you. You get offended. That's your fucking problem.
So when you started moving through the ranks at the UFC, your first fight was 3 weeks. Just a 3-week call, wasn't it? It was 3 weeks before the first fight at UFC, the Brazilian.
Yeah. So
and then you took him out straight away.
Yeah. So when I was in Brazil, so before I got the call, I'd fought 3 weeks before my UFC debut with a guy called Midnight. I fought in the south of Brazil, and I won a title there. I knocked him out in the 4th round, and then when I got the call, I was sat with my wrestling coach in his house. We were smoking a bit of weed and having a bit of food. He used to love smoking weed, so I'd go round. I don't fucking take any drugs and that, but I'd go round and be smoking weed. Like, do you want some? All right, sad. So we had a little smoke of weed, and we were eating steak and mash. Never forget, he made a steak of mash, and we were just chilling. No telly, no phones, nothing. Just a bit of music on, and I get a call from Marcelo, and he's like, do you want to fight in 3 weeks? And I was like, yeah, come on. And he was like, you're going to fight the former number one who was number 1 in Brazil, Wendell. And I was just like, wow, my opportunity has came. He was like, but it's at welterweight, Dad, and how much you weigh? And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, I'm 93 kg. So, 93 kilos to get to 77 kg.
Yeah, it's big.
In 7 days or 8 days it was. That's when the fight, I got the call. 8 days before my UFC debut. Sorry, I said 3 weeks. And he just went, get on it now. So Tim was big into it, and he was like, Darren, you need to eat this, and you're just going to have to smash a big weight cut the day before weigh-ins and thingy. So after he gave me the call, I went round to meet my friend's house, who was smoking weed as well. He loved the weed, and he was like, wow. And we got a photo, and we had a glass of wine to celebrate. I said, right, time to get to work. I went on a jog along the beach, and I was just like, at that time, my daughter, had she been born yet? Can't even remember. Can't even remember when my daughter was born. But I was on my own in the apartment, and I remember just coming back, and I had a big fucking gallon of water, and I was like, right, this is it. Went through the whole fight week, cut the weight, and just absolutely demolished the kid in the second round.
How was that feeling for you?
Unbelievably, because when I walked out, at this point I wasn't very well known in Brazil. Every single Brazilian booed and shouted things like "Ooh, vai morrer," which means you're gonna die. And I was like, fuck, these are hostile. Then when I knocked him out, no one knew I spoke fluent Portuguese. A translator came into the cage, and the commentator was Brian. I can't remember who the commentator at that point was coming in, and he was about to like ask, and I said, grab the mic, and then just started reeling off Portuguese, and I could see people in the crowd going, what the fuck? And I was going, I'm half Brazilian, I've got a daughter here, don't be booing me because I'm fucking Brazilian. And next minute the arena just erupted, and when I went backstage, ESPN, everyone was just trying to interview. They were like, you speak Portuguese? And I'd saved it right up until that point, because I remember my coach Britt going, make sure you do your interview in Portuguese, Darren. And when the translator was getting out, I was thinking, do English, do Portuguese, English, Portuguese. And it was just, it was astronomical.
Is that what you feel as if you'd entered the MMA world?
Yeah, because people were like, who's this ugly little Liverpool lad living in Brazil, and just absolutely smoked his opponent on his debut, and then just spoke Portuguese? Who the fuck's he? And from that, just fucking...
You moved through the ranks faster. You got a first 3-4 fights, and then is it Cowboy?
Yeah,
was your big test?
I did go through the ranks fast, but I had a year in Brazil of like, I'm not going to say deep depression, but I was really depressed because I won my first fight, and then my second fight got booked for the 24th of October in Dublin against Nicholas Dalby, and we were both unbeaten. And that actually was top 10 fights of that year. That year I got a bonus and everything. We drew, yeah. But in the third round, I pulled my shoulder. I've got a scar on my shoulder. I pulled my shoulder out. So I fought for the whole third round with my shoulder out, and he absolutely annihilated me. I got fight of the night. It was a great fight. After that, then I had to go and do shoulder surgery, and I'd split up with my daughter's mum. So 2016 in Brazil for me was like quite a dark place. I was drinking quite a lot, to be honest with you. Every day was an excuse to have like a bottle of Heineken. It was crazy. I was drinking every day. My shoulder was like tingied for 16 months. I think it was. I was just had no direction. I got fat. I was properly on my own, and I could see my money going down. I was living in my friends, and I was like, then I spoke to Col, and I was like, Col, I think it's time to come back. You know what? I'm like, when getting away to Brazil was the escape. Getting away from Brazil was the escape. I'm like the person, I don't like to stay in one spot for too long. That's why I'm saying to you, I'd love to go back to somewhere for a period of time. I feel like I'd come to me end then after the 4 years, and Cole was like, yeah, I think it's time too. So sort yourself out to come back. So I had to go for like court to set up payments for my daughter. I had to get all my things in order and that, because I had a life over there. Yeah. I had a house, I had a car. And then same thing, I booked my ticket for the 25th.
Christmas Day again?
Christmas Day again.
Do you think your life turns in fours then? 19 years, Brazil, back to Liverpool, 19 years, 4 years later, 23. Now you're 27, you're kind of thinking the same?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're thinking maybe it's time to change again?
Yeah. I like change. Like, don't get me wrong.
Change is good.
Yeah. I don't think I could get it. When I say change, it'd have to be a change with me coach. Like I couldn't leave. I'm just that too close, that relationship, coach, student. But every few years I like to do a change, and I like to refocus. I feel like you get it sometimes. I feel like anyway, speaking for myself, I just get into a bit of the same thing, and you forget what.
Very repetitive.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just good to just go boom, change. Wow, do you know what I mean? So
it's got you as far as it has now, yeah. So it's clearly working.
It works, yeah.
What was Colin thinking when you were coming back? Was he worried about in case you slipped back into old habits again and got into trouble?
No.
Or did he believe in you that you were going to move through the gears?
Yeah, no. I said, Col, I'm coming back. So he's like speaking to me in that, and I'd absolutely destroyed all my money from the last UFC fight. So the bonus and everything that I'd got, which was in 2015. By the end of 2016, like in Brazil, that was like what? 50 plus, like 350,000 reais, which is like, you can live like a fucking king forever. I just absolutely destroyed it, gone through it. I'm like that. Don't hold no value for money. I should hold more, but coming to the end, I was like, right, got no money, booked this ticket, sort my child out, and get back to England. So came back 25th of December. One of my good friends, a lifelong pal, said, where are you? I said, I'm at the airport. There's no one here. Nothing's running, trains, nothing. He said, okay. He buys and sells cars. He said, I'm going to buy a car from a guy now in London. I'm going to get him to drop it off at the airport for you and you can drive home. So I was like, okay, yes, sounds. So he bought an S-Reg Fiesta. It was an absolute banger. Like when it turned up, it was a rust bucket. It was like cluttering. And the guy was like, here's your car, mate, sound. I was like, sound. I'm back in England, back to the grind. Absolutely murdered the Fiesta all the way from London to Liverpool. There was not a soul on the motorway. Stopped, put 25 quid in the Fiesta. I think he's still got the Fiesta to this day. Turned up at my granddad's. Didn't even tell me granddad was coming home. Like, you okay, granddad? Oh my God, Darren. Fucking wow. Went to his room. He's kept that spare room for me since he's at the house. And just lied there and was like, right, back to it.
That was it.
That was it. I got back to the gym. Colin looked at me and went, you fat cunt. Right? Just give me all shit. He was like, time to get on it now. Booked me fight for May. Fought in May. Beat that top prospect. Fought in September against a guy called Bojan Velikovic. Was like top to be one of the top guys. Destroyed him. Then fought Cowboy. So I just went fight Cowboy. That was in October.
How was it knowing that you were fighting Cowboy, a man who had been in the industry for the beginning, basically?
That mentality I had back then was different. I didn't give no fucks for no one or cared about anyone. Like I didn't even. Like, I remember when he got the fight and he was like, "Yeah, it's just Dareen Till.
Underestimate you.
It's just this young kid coming up. You know, I'm just taking the fight. Whatever, Poland. I'll fight anyone, anytime. Like." And I remember just watching it thinking, you just don't know what you're in for. I'm a better striker than you. I'm younger. I'm hungrier. I'm going to fucking end your world for you. And at that point, Colin was just like, this is the time now, Till. Then 4 weeks before the fight, I tore my knee in sparring. And it was a Thursday. Col said, right, I want you to go home. I want you to rest today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, come back Monday, and we'll see if I have to pull you out the fight or not. And I was like, you ain't pulling me out this fight, Col. I'm doing this fight regardless. Came back on the Monday, my knee was still shattered, I couldn't do anything. I just got on the treadmill and I remember one of the guys and he was like, what are you doing? I said, this is gonna be done. Sprinted on that treadmill for 50 minutes and was just like, I don't give a fuck about that knee. That was the same knee I actually ruptured now in the Whittaker fight. I mean, both my knees need surgery and I was just like, nah, ain't nothing or no one stopping me from fighting Cowboy.
Is that why you came out the traps flying then? Did you try to end it as quick as you did? Because you came out flying, you put him on the deck a few times as well.
Yeah, I just remember like just having this. I don't know. I just knew I was better than him. Like I knew he was a good striker, but I knew I was a masterful striker, and I could just go in there and bully him. And not to take away the fact, you know, I don't think he's a proper welterweight. That doesn't mean anything. Like if you're a man over 60 kilos, weight. Obviously we have weight in MMA, but like lightweight to welterweight, there's not a big difference. Do you know what I mean? I just knew I was the bigger man, the better man. So I just knew I could come out the banks and just fucking absolutely. To be honest, I need a little bit of that back. Do you know what I mean? I just come out the banks and tore his head off.
Do you miss that, Dan?
Yeah, like
knowing that you had, you just there's something there, isn't there? You fucking know. I can see it in your eyes, mate.
No, there's a click.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my last fight was against one of the world's elite, Robert Whittaker, the former champion, and even though I lost a decision like that, the 5th round, he scored a takedown on me. Like, I'm fighting these elites, and I don't even feel like I got out of first gear. I feel like I coasted the fight.
How was that without the fans as well?
That doesn't mean anything. I didn't think about that. I actually liked it. I think it was better. It was more. There was less drama. Like, you know, when you come into an arena, sometimes like I fought at Madison Square Garden, and you're just like, wow, like the bright lights and the crowd just gets you a bit. You're like, oh, that's edgy stuff. With that, it was like, get in, fight, home. There was no big build up. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it. I never come out with no fight music or nothing. Yeah.
Did they fast track you through? They fast tracked you fast, Dana. Is that because they've seen your potential, how much money you can make for them as
course,
well,
100%.
with the fans and how big Liverpool is with their support?
I just think now even the UFC, they see how I am and they see the fan base I've got and the person I am. I think they sit there at night and say, we hope Darren Till beats this guy because we want him to be. I know they want me to be a champion. I know for a fact they want me to be a champion. I want me to be a champion. Little things have to be done. But of course they fast track you. You'd be lying. I can't sit here and go, no, I had the hardest fight. Yeah, I had tough fights. I fought one of the best strikers in the whole of the UFC, Wonderboy. I fought a dominant champion in Woodley. I fought the best people, but they've just given me a fight. Go for that big fight. You know, it hasn't been like 10 fights, then a main event.
Through in the deep end straight away, because after Cowboy you got Wonderboy.
At Liverpool?
Yeah, at Echo.
Yeah.
Did you know that the Echo was happening? Your hometown?
I'd campaigned for it for a long time, and they always said it was impossible. Now, the reason it was impossible was because of the toilet structure in the Echo.
Everybody in taking gear.
Yeah. Scousers, mate. Fucking, yeah, definitely. So they were just like, we can't do it because of the way the structure. And I was like, that's bullshit. I was like, you can make that happen. And then I think I had a phone call with Dana, and I said, Dana, make UFC Liverpool happen. The next day I got a call. You can't tell no one nothing, Darren. They're going to make it happen. Dana's been on the phone and said, whatever you have to do, make that shit happen. Then they told me at UFC London, they were like, it's happening till May. You're going to fight. And I was like, who am I fighting against? They're like, they're trying to find your opponent. And Wonderboy kept turning the fight down.
Why?
I just think that he thought he was in a higher rank and I've been fast-tracked and I don't deserve it. But how the fuck are you meant to get anywhere if the top guys don't want to fight the lower guys? That's how you get to the top, fighting the better guys. So I was like, nah, fuck that, get him to fight. So then I called him out a little bit and then he accepted the fight.
Does that work, that? Calling him out, does it work? People go, fuck him, I'll show him then.
Do you know, with me, yeah. Do you know, with me, if someone called me out, that'd work, because I'd be like, this cunt's not calling me out, I'm getting on. I think with a lot of fighters, sometimes they'll just dismiss it. Like, I'd called Wonderboy out a lot and he just dismissed me. And then, I don't know what turned in him, where he was like, nah, fuck this, I'm going to show this young kid what it's about. But Colin is always on at me, like, when fighters call me out, I'm just dead quick to reply. I'm like, you want some, do you little cunt? He's like, stop giving everyone time of day, Darren. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the feud with Mike Perry, but not to be disrespectful, he's nowhere near close to be getting a fight with me. How the fuck? He's not even ranked. He needs to beat people first before he fights me. I'm fighting the elites. I've fought the best, beat the best, and been beaten by the best. He's not close. He's not my weight. He's not fighting the best. We've just got a little tit for tat feud going on.
How was the weight cut with the Wonderboy? Because I know you struggled with that. We actually watched the weight cut video before you came in, and that looked brutal.
Listen,
as if you nearly killed yourself to cut weight.
I know you've had Tony Bellew on and that, and he used to be an extreme weight, because there ain't a man alive who used to cut weight like me, who had the mentality for it. I used to be an extreme, unhealthy weight. Like, it was damaging.
Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, I used not the last weight cuts that I had for Masvidal and Wonderboy. Like, my Woodley weight cut was fine, but not fine at this. Listen, look at the size of me. I was making 77 kilos, and I was extreme weight cutting. It was like 40 kilos, 30 kilos cutting it. But then, like, the night before weigh-ins, cutting like 10 kilos. To be honest, I was in the business of being the best weight cutter, and I did enjoy it. But my last weight cut to 170 was against Masvidal, and I remember going blind a few hours before weighing in. I remember we got to the hotel, and it was the night before weigh-ins, and I remember I'd done my usual, I do like a 50-minute run with 4 layers of clothing on, with all my sweet sweats, you know, like the gels and that. Lost weight, went and hit pads, and I was still so far off. And Colin was just like, what the fuck are we going to do? And I was like, put me back on the treadmill, I'm going to run again. He's like, and Colin is so brutal, but even Colin was like, nah, you can't. I was like, get me back on that treadmill now. Went back on the treadmill, and at this point I was just on the treadmill, and the screen was like just fuzzing, and I was going, wow. And I was just toddling along, and then I was hitting my pads, still had weight to go. And I was like, Col, just let me go and sleep for a few hours and I'll carry on. He was like, Darren, I can't, no. I said, Col, just trust in me, please, I know what I'm doing. He's like, Darren, went to sleep, woke up. Right. I went on another run, and at this point, I was just like, literally, I couldn't even move. My body was shutting down, and I was just going blind. And then I had like 0.4 grams to go, which sounds nothing, but it's a lot at that point. Your body's not giving nothing more. I'd done my saunas and everything, and then Colin went to sleep, and I was in the room with my friend at the time, and he was sleeping, and I don't know if he heard me wake up or not, but I got up, put my clothes on, and I thought, right, if I walk the Asda, I'll lose that weight. So I started walking the Asda, and I just had to sit on like a bench, and I was blind, and I had to like grab my phone, half like dial it, and I was like, Colin, I'm blind here, I can't move. Col come running along, Col and John come running along, and they had to like hurdle me back to the hotel. They were like, and I was just like, wow. And then when I was going to weigh in, he was like, Darren, look strong. And I was like that on the scales, just like, wow. And you know, I can give the excuses that I got beat because of the weight cut. I got beat by the better man on the night. I'm a better fighter than the 3 guys I've lost to. This is what I tell you. If I didn't believe that, I'd probably half quit now. I know I'm better than the 3 people that have beat me. I know that for a fact. But to do a weight cut like that 24 hours before you're fighting the best people in the world is just like mentally insane.
How much stress is that on your team as well, knowing that it's close every time?
A lot of
Must
stress
be difficult.
A lot of stress on Colin, my teammates, even a lot of stress on the UFC. They're putting these events on, main events. Like I've sold out the Echo, Madison Square Garden, I've sold out the O2 Arena, and I've sold them up the quickest. Like, we're talking combat sports. Like, think about that. If that fight doesn't go ahead because I've collapsed through extreme weight cutting. Like, I used to do the most brutal weight cuts, but again, only myself to blame, because 10 weeks before that, I'm fucking sat there
Cheeseburgers.
watching Narcos Mexico. So we've had this conversation. I'm not going to sit here and blame anyone, and I'm going to take all my losses in life and I'm going to put them all onto me. My last loss, I mean, my last fight, fucking, I'm happy, but I'm sad. I should have just fucking went for it, and I know I'd have got him out of there, but you know, everything that's happened inside the cage and outside, these losses are all down to me. They ain't down to no one else. That's how I think. That's how I like to look at it. It makes me stronger knowing that I nearly missed weight because of me. Not because Colin was shoving cheeseburgers in my face, because I, 10 weeks before the fight, was eating how I shouldn't have ate. Now, don't get me wrong, at middleweight now, I'm comfortable, I can eat what I want. You know, I'm not the strictest on my diet, but at welterweight, for me to stay at welterweight would have been 365 days a year, probably just eating leaves, because I was just too big for the weight. I up to me think I was.
How was it coming out of the Echo with Sweet Caroline? Absolutely popping. It's one of the best entrances I've ever seen, to be honest. It was you looked happy. So you did. You looked buzzing.
If you see me face when I walked out to Sweet Caroline, the Echo, and then you see me face when I walked out in London to it, 2 totally different people. Like the Dareen in London was just rage, just full rage, whereas in Liverpool I was just like, at the end of the day, I was the main fucking man. I was just breathing it in and taking it in. I was like, wow, I don't want this to end. And I remember looking at Dana's face, and Dana was just like, listen, to be inside there, you've never seen nothing like it. It was just full to the brim. Just everyone was there for me. They weren't there for Dana or Colin or Wonderboy. They were there for Darren Till. And I picked the perfect song, and it was just...
Why did you pick that song?
Because I loved the song, and Liverpool were playing the same weekend as well. And I just knew the way it sold out. I knew what type of crowd was going. I just knew that every single person, mother, child, father, fan, would just be off the seats screaming at the top of their lungs the song. So I done it, and it just became my song. Like, I'm not asked for anyone. It's called Darren Till, Sweet Caroline. It's not Neil Diamond, because it's my song.
Your family must have been proud of you at that moment.
They was, yeah. Me mother, me uncle, me father, they were all like, this is our boy.
Yeah.
Look what he's doing, you know. But I don't feel like you take these moments in, right, until you retire and you look back. I feel like if you've spoke to Bellew, like people like Bellew's retired, they just want to come back. He's bored.
Yeah.
Bored in life.
I love Tony, man. He's a great guy.
Yeah, and you see all these fighters, Mike Tyson's and Roy Jones, they just
Back
can't
again.
let it go. They just can't let it go.
It's in their blood.
Yeah, it's in the blood. So I haven't looked back on Liverpool and really cherished the moment. I haven't looked back on anything and cherished it. I feel like I really will when I retire, and it's probably going to be the same outcome. Retire, want to come back, because nothing beats, like, fighting's an individual sport, nothing beats walking out and having your hand raised. That's like adrenaline that you can't get from drugs or anything. That is just a drug inside you that we're just made with.
And winning the fight as well, that must have been a special moment.
Yeah.
To eventually get your hand raised and beating the man who never wanted to fight you at the start.
At the end of the day, we do this to win. Like, I don't do this just to be a good sport and, it was a great fight. I lost that fight, but it was great. I do this for fucking sport, not for the fucking entrances or anything. I do this for fucking sport, so my hand can be raised at the end.
And then you called out for you wanted to be the world champion, and you don't fuck about with the mic, do you, man? It's like, is he a fighter or an entertainer? It's a bit of both, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to be. I've seen a lot of fighters have got mixed thoughts and reviews, and as I've been getting bigger and coming up more, I just think we're in the entertainment business, so I think the social media, the mic, the call outs, the fucking being a jack the lad, funny person, that is all just what people love. People ultimately want to see great fights, but people love the bravado.
Yeah,
that's
the
why,
hype,
like,
yeah.
I actually wrote this down, and a lot of times you'll hear people say, no, actions speak louder than words, and I think to myself, that's not necessarily true, because sometimes you could fight a fighter who's probably better than you, and you could just get in his head with words and then change the course of the fight because his head's completely fell off because of what you've said. So all this bravado and that, it just makes more for the fight. It's just fucking, it makes it all better. It's the entertainment business. Let's entertain people.
Yeah. So you got your world title fight after that. You were flying, undefeated, very tough fight. Woodley, how was that experience getting in the cage with him?
Do you know what? I just put, at that time, these fights with Wonderboy, I missed weight for Wonderboy, and all these fights leading up until I fought Woodley and my last fight at welterweight Masvidal, I wasn't thinking fight, I was thinking weight. So don't get me wrong, like, it was great, but I didn't show the Dareen Till in that fight. I just showed that Dareen Till could make weight because I made weight for the Woodley fight, and I'd put all my stress and my energy into making weight when I didn't even put any focus onto fighting one of the best fighters in the world at that time.
What pressure came on you?
Because after I'd missed weight with Wonderboy, that's all people cared about. People didn't care about anything. Just like, yeah, but he shouldn't be at welterweight. He can't make weight. You're giving him a title fight. He can't make weight. And every day, even I knew Colin was worried. It was like, what have you done? I wasn't going to training thinking about techniques and sparring. I was going to training thinking, have I lost enough weight there today? Have I drank enough water to flush my system up? Like, that was my whole focus and mentality leading up to the Woodley fight.
How was the weight cut?
It was disgusting again. Like,
yeah.
I made it a lot easier than the previous fights. But again, it was just the whole process. If you could have a 24-hour camera around the whole process leading up and day before weigh-ins, you'd just be like, that is so unhealthy beyond belief. Like, it's damaging. It's potentially lifelong damaging. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I was the day before Woodley, I cut like 10 kilos in a few hours. Mm-hmm. Like, and all these other guys are cutting weight with a few kilos and that, and I'm just in there, just skin and bone, and just my face is so just dried in and dragged in and not healthy.
How was it losing that first fight?
Pissed me off. I shouldn't have lost. I should have beat that guy. I was better than I am a better fighter than Tyron Woodley. I'm a better fighter than George Masvidal, and I'm a better fighter than Robert Whittaker. But that was my first loss in MMA on the biggest stage possible. I was so close in touching distance for that title. But when I sit here now, I'm like, fucking so glad and happy that I did lose, and I have lost, and I've had fans and I've had people turn against me and he's not going to be a champion and all that. I've absolutely loved and cherished every moment of it.
Yeah, you embraced it. You're still young, man. 27. This was all when what? You're 25?
24, 25, doing all this, and
yeah.
I've had all this experience, all this these, I say troubles, I've had these losses, these troubles inside, outside the cage. I just don't even feel like I'm hitting me prime yet. I feel like I'm learning so much day to day in my gym. And I think I've got 3 more years to hit me prime. They say in MMA that you hit your prime in your 30s. I've got 3 more years of learning, getting better. I've got fucking 8 more years to be a world champion.
Yeah, you'll do that within 2.
I'm going to do it in 2.
Yeah,
okay.
I believe so.
But as I say to you, you've got to be held accountable and take into account everything what you're doing day to day.
Do you think you're maturing more?
I'd like to think so.
Check your social media, mate. It would be debatable.
I love social media, don't get me wrong, it's great, but as I say to you, you should take it with a pinch of salt. On social media, I'm the most immature man going. But in life, I don't know if I can sit here and say I am mature, because just the other night, I was doing donuts and wheelies on my quad. So, am I mature? You say that, but I don't know.
You must be, though, because you're speaking about it, you're identifying these things now where you're opening up and going, you know what, yeah, I could be doing this better, I could be doing that better. That's when you will make the changes. You know what needs to be done. Look how far you've already come.
Yeah. It's hard. You've just, for me, I'm a very like, I'm very in my head a lot. I'm quite crazy. I need to just, I'm 100% or nothing. So as I say to you, these little moves away, why I like them is because then it just gives me to be 100%. In my head, I'm sort of, if I'm giving 10% to, let's say, my business, and then 10% to my friends, in my own head, I'm thinking, oh, I'm not giving enough. So just go like that. Whereas I just want to be not like waking up and it's all about the gym, revolves around gym. I don't want to be going doing these meetings about my house and everything. I don't really give a fuck about them. But then these take over your life, because this is everyday life. I'm in my own head so much, whereas I just want to be waking up and just going to the gym 100%. Fuck these other things.
Yeah. How was it? You had a fight booked for the 5th of December and that's the first fight you've ever pulled out of.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
You know what? When we talk about maturity, I think this was the first time I'd matured on a level in fighting, because I've got both my knees are destroyed. It's fucking, my whole body is shattered. I've never been 100% in a fight, but I've only just come off this injury off the last fight with Robert when I tore my MCL, and I said to Cole straight away, right, me knee will be okay in a few weeks, Cole, you can book a fight. And he's like, okay, they want you to fight in December, main event against Jack. And he's like, you know, if you beat Jack, you're getting that title shot. And I was like, I know. And then as it gradually grew closer to the fight, Cole's just like, your knee's not looking good, is it? I was doing everything on it, I was wrestling fine, but he was like, one little smudge in the fight, it's gonna go. So I was like, okay, pull me out, Cole. I was like, give me more time to get stronger, better, healthier, fitter, and next year we go again. And I don't like to say this, next year is going to be my year. I hate stuff like that, but I've actually turned around and said to Cole, I can't wait for next year. I'm looking forward to what's to come, not in life, just in fighting next year for me.
Who's on the radar for you?
Right now, do you know, right now I haven't even looked at anyone. I just want to get better, and next year say, right, go for that. But right now, I just want to cure myself.
Mentally, physically?
Yeah, I think physically, fuck the physical. Physically, my body's going to be fucking broken when I retire anyway. It's mentally, it's 90% mental.
Yeah. What's your plans for the future then?
I just want to be a world champion.
You will be?
I just want to be a world champion. I don't want to be anything else. I just want to be a world champion. I'm going to have to do whatever it takes to be a world champion.
What do you think needs to change to take you there, to get you that extra inch?
I think that until now just needs to be a little bit more disciplined in certain areas. Maybe, let's say, they're not big things. It's just, as I said to you, I think one, distractions is a big thing for me. And just other small tweaks inside the gym and outside, but just 100% devoted to what I'm saying. If I want to be a world champion, I've got to be 100% devoted to it. And right now, I'm not.
But you will be. You're talking about it. You can see that it's coming again, where you're just going to switch that fucking go, right, it's game time again.
I hope so. I hope that I'm sitting to you in 5 years' time with me 3 belts, and not in 5 years' time saying, "Oh, I nearly got there, James."
Nah.
You know,
I'll not be having you on if you've not got any belts, mate. So get your finger out.
but what's good is to identify it as well. That could potentially happen in 5 years' time. It could be one of them. You know, these guys you see in pubs. Oh, I could have been like that. I was good. That can happen to any of us, and I can't just sit back going, no, I'm doing everything possible. Everything's fine. Everything's hunky and dory. I need to identify that there's little things that need to be tweaked to get there, and not to be the guy standing on the bar going, could have been me that.
Contender, yeah.
You know what I mean?
How's your relationship with Dana now?
It's okay. Listen, I don't speak badly about Dana. If I've ever got a problem personal with Dana, I'll message him or ring him. I've got his phone number. But I know, without Dana saying it, he wants me to be a champion. They had the first British champion, English champion in Mike Bisping. They've had Conor, the Irish champion. But I know they want me to be the next English champion. I know they do.
It's because of the backing that Liverpool give you. Do you know what I mean? They know they're going to fucking follow
And
anywhere.
England, do you know, I'll be totally honest with you.
The whole of the UK, you're massive up in Scotland as well.
Scotland.
You're fucking nuts, set for Greenock.
Yeah. When I've been to places like Scotland and little places in England, little villages and everything, people love me. They're like, wow, Darren. You know what? It's mad the love I get. But that's everywhere as well. Like when I've been in America a lot of times and places in Europe, people do show me a lot of love. They are big fans of me. So I know the UFC identify that, and I know they're like, as soon as Darren's a world champion, it's gonna go, whoa.
Just another couple of questions, but I know you're good friends with Terry, who was in the UFC. How's that? He was a great fighter, tough as fuck. How's that relationship? Because I know you've got a lot of respect for Terry.
Yeah, Terry's like, since day one, since I got into him, I've just been like my biggest idol. I've just, because I seen what he was capable of in the gym and what he'd done in his fights. I think with Terry, what happened at the end, like Terry he had a vicious knockout with like Edson Barboza, and I think from that, he's told me himself, it's funny because I like to choose my words carefully with Terry so he doesn't fuck me up. He's one guy who could, but I think he just lost the love. He said to me, Dad, the love wasn't there no more. I wasn't getting up in the morning for me runs. I wasn't coming to the gym and giving it me all. And he said, I sort of realised that was the time to step back. And I say to him nowadays, I said, Terry, you know what? Even if you came back to train now, you could probably still be a champion because I've seen it. And he's like, I know, but the love's not there. And for me, that proper hurts me deep down because I know what Terry, even though he achieved amazing, great things anyway, I know what he could have been. You know what I mean? And I could probably even take inspiration from that to like
kick on again yourself.
Yeah, I've got to carry the torch for Terry and Colin, like to be that world champion, that first world champion from Liverpool, from Team Carbon.
Mm-hmm. And you will be. When you got the jail in Tenerife, how long were you in for?
4 days.
How was that?
I'll tell you what, mate. I hope I never go to jail.
They don't fuck about over there.
Listen. I'm one of these people. I actually, I've got a really good friend who's in jail now, and he rings me every weekend. He just rings me to just, as you say, shoot the shit. He just talks about life, and I always say to him, I say, listen, mate, I want to be honest with you, because he goes to me, like, you're mentally strong. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not mentally strong for them jails, because I'm like, I'm never going to jail. He's like, the guys got us. Like, so the police turned up, like in the street. The taxi was like all the way up the street, and the first thing they said was, Darren Till. And I was like, yeah, but I was like, I haven't done nothing. 10 of them get on the ground now, and I was like, what? I haven't done anything. Cuffed me, sent me and me 4 mates to the cells, mate, the roughest. I had to have a shit in the corner of one of the cells because they wouldn't let me go to the toilet. So my mate who was in the cell with me was like, Darren, get rid of that shit. It fucking stinks. It's got flies. I was like, there's nowhere else to put it. They wouldn't let me go for the shit. But what's hilarious about that story is when they put us in the cells, the first night, one of the guards, he was like must have been a lieutenant or whatever, come to see me. He was like, Darren, I'm a big fan. He was like, do you need anything? And I was like, a little bit of food. It'd be nice to little go on my phone. He was like, I'll sort it, no worries. So he comes back like, he went, is that your good mate as well? And my mate's looking at me and say, yeah, Darren, I'm fucking hungry as well. Comes back, big fucking breasted chicken, rice, avocado, salad, and a smoothie. And he went, go and sit in the holding area. I'll give you your phones. And I was like, fuck, this is some guy, this. So we were eating. I was on the phone, and at that point, no one knew about it. But my girlfriend had texted me. She's like, where are you? I haven't heard from you. I was like, listen, I'm in jail. I've been nicked. I'll be out in a few days. And then I couldn't see a reply because I had to get off my phone. We was just in there for 4 days, mate. It was the grimmest thing ever. We were eating like these stale crackers every day. It was grim. Like, that chicken breast was the best thing about it. Every day was fucking horrible. And then we got out, and the judge just didn't fuck about. He was just like, you cheeky bastards. You come in here, you think you can fucking do this, do that. He was like, give me your passports, 15,000 euros to leave the fucking island. My friends didn't have any money. So I had to pay the 15,000 euros. We tried to go round to sleep in hotels when we got out until the money had cleared, the international money. Every hotel had been sent a fax from the police station, don't let these guys stay here. So we were going and they were like, can't. We ended up having to stay in this little apartment. And then at that point, the Daily Mail, the Daily Star, the Mirror, the Echo, it just came out. And I was just getting phone calls, and I was just like, airplane mode, bump, fuck that shit.
Did somebody steal a taxi?
Sorry?
Did someone steal a taxi?
Yeah, well...
I read this story and I was laughing because I'm thinking, man, if that was me, I'd been in the fucking taxi with them, man.
I'll tell you the God's honest truth about this story. I won't hold nothing back. I actually wasn't meant to go on this trip. They were going for one of our mates' birthdays to Tenerife, and they told me about it. And I went and said to Col, I said, Col, I'm all right to miss a few days of training. I'm going to go to Tenerife. Col's one of them. He's very silent in what he says, but he's got a tone to him. And he went, listen, I don't think it's a good idea, son, because you're not all there. But okay. Because as I said to you, I'm 100%. I won't just go out and drink 5 pints. I'll go out and drink 100 pints and steal taxis. That's what I do. That's my thing. But I said, okay, Col, sound. I said, I'll be good. So we got there the first night. These guys had booked themselves a 5-star hotel. I just jumped on the holiday. So got there, 5-star hotel, got in the room, fucking lovely, lavish. Right, let's get out there. So we went out to like the strip in Tenerife. Everyone knew me. Yes, Dareen buying me shots. So that was it. Just fucking going insane. Ended up in this proper exclusive bar. We were just going mental. Ended up in McDonald's, blah, blah, blah. Got a taxi back to the hotel. Now, I've done this a few times before this incident, so I must have a thing for it. As my mates are walking through the hallway, I've grabbed the fire extinguisher and just went, just sprayed them. Next minute, one of them have grabbed the fire extinguisher. We went in the room, and do you know what? I'm actually quite embarrassed talking about this. It's funny, but it's actually, I shouldn't have done it. We've destroyed the room. We're throwing mattresses off the balcony. Then some guy, I think my friend has actually got a video, some guy at the bottom started shouting. And I've got a text here, flew it off the balcony. And he's like, he's just like, what, gone back in? We're just going mental. We've grabbed our suitcases before the hotel staff could come. We've went out the fire exit. We've gone up this hill. We've went to another hotel. We've rang a taxi to the hotel. As this taxi's come, I've sat in the back of the taxi. We're all loading our suitcases into the back. One of my friends has jumped in what he thought was the passenger side, but it was the driver's side over there to the side. And I went, what are you doing? He went, fuck, I thought it was the Pazzy side. He went, fuck it anyway. And I went, no, lad. And I'm in the back going, stop it. I'm going, drive it back now. We'll be okay. Mm-hmm. And he's like, nah, fuck that. He went on a whole trip around the island. He was doing donuts and skids. And I'm in the back going, crying. I'm going, stop the taxi, please. Lad, we're going to get fucked. He skidded the taxi, bombed it out. So I've ran the other way. I've thought I need to get away from him. Fuck that. And I've sat by this car and I've thought I'm just going to sit here. I'm not going to act like I'm running away or anything. I've sat here. Then he's come running back and I've went, no, get away from me, lad. Go somewhere else. He saw attention. Next minute, these busies have just all pulled up and just grabbed us. They just knew straight away and they were just like, fuck.
Have the guns out and that?
They had the guns out. They all knew who I was. They must have been, like, they were big fans and that. But any excuse to arrest me, they were going to arrest me and that was it. And then I didn't really come out to anyone and say I didn't steal a taxi or anything. It was just basically Darren Till steals taxi in Tenerife. You have to go with that headline. I can't come out and say I didn't steal a taxi, even though I didn't.
That's you sticking your friend on as well, innit?
That's it. I've classed him. Say no names. But listen, I took the rap for him. I got a few fucking beatings off Colin, got shouted at, but that was it.
What did the UFC and that say? They just shake their head.
Do you know what, mate? It's a tough one with the UFC because with boxing, it's very different. Like, I remember Billy Joe last lockdown done that video saying if your woman gives you shit,
punching the bag,
hilarious. But the British Boxing Board of Control banned him. Took us. I don't know what he done. He took his license and anything. I thought the video was hilarious. He was just joking clearly. But okay, we're in the era of people getting offended. People get offended. The UFC is totally different. I think, obviously, as we spoke of, you're not like they're not bothered. Like.
And more publicity for them.
Yeah, like, I remember the boss, not Dana, the boss, him texting me, he's like, any support you need, Dad, I'm right here. And I'm like, fucking hell. You know, obviously you can't take the piss. If you do something severe, they've got to cut you and let you go, blah, blah, blah. But they were just willing to support me.
But is that not worse for you, knowing that you've kind of got the backing no matter what you do?
Yeah. Oh, don't worry, tonight I'm going out stealing some taxis.
I'll go with you.
If everywhere was open, mate, me and you'd be a dangerous combo. But they were supportive, which I have to fucking be. I think in there is the problem. Listen, he hasn't killed no one, he hasn't beaten no one up, he hasn't blah, blah, blah. We'll support him in this. Yeah. Obviously, there's a line you do not cross. Of course. Same on social media. There's that invisible line. Don't cross it. Play with it.
You're playing with it a lot.
I play with it. But don't cross it. Like last week could have been a bad one, you know, if I actually did offend a transgender woman, man, whatever. But I didn't. But I do. I play with that line.
Is that why you delete your apps a lot?
No, the thing I have my two apps on my phone. I have Twitter and I have Instagram. Now I'm quite active on my Instagram. I have to be for me, promoting my businesses. I've got a few sponsors that support me. But at the same time, I just love having a fucking laugh. I post a lot of bullshit, but my account's been deleted a few times now. So I don't know whether it's because of reports of like memes or videos or whatever. But that's been deleted. But sometimes what I like to do is just turn the apps off my phone. Like the Twitter app, what I'll do is I'll have a big rant on Twitter, but then I'll delete it off my phone because I don't want to be sat there, especially with Twitter. It can be such a draining thing with all these opinions, and you can really get dragged into it, especially a lot of negative comments. Can you imagine, as I told you about moderation every day, if people were just saying that until you're just a piece of shit? I'd probably start thinking, I actually am a piece of shit here. So I think it's good to have moderation.
Yeah, it can affect you. Your businesses, we'll touch on that before we finish up, brother. We'll give them a plug. Your watches, where can people get them? Off my, there's a separate Instagram called the Marvy. Just go the link there. We'll link the links in the description. You're boozing now, can you talk about that? Are you going through some sort of legal battle?
No, so the Raw Dog is basically me little baby. We all know where it's come from, and to be honest, it's absolutely smashed it. Like, after the Whittaker fight, Colin, who's I involve in every one of my businesses, and one of the guys who's like a photographer for me, they were just like begging me to be like, Darren, make a brand out of this. Everyone wants a t-shirt. They're like, do it. And I just went, okay, we'll set the company up. But I've always wanted to be quite different. I said, but what we're going to do, we're not going to release a t-shirt so people can buy it whenever next year, in 5 years' time. I said, we're going to make everything we do on this Raw Dog limited edition. I said, so we're going to release a t-shirt. It's going to be only for 7 days. And that t-shirt ain't never coming back. Maybe when we do Christmas fillers and all that, we'll bring it back. But everything's going to be limited edition. So when I started doing that, for everything I brought out t-shirts, lighters and that, I done a promo video with it. So I started doing promo videos, releasing hats, t-shirts, lighters. Then everyone was coming to the idea with me, like, Darren, your brand is called Raw Dog. What does that mean? I'm like, well, Raw Dog on someone's beard. Raw dog on your beard with no condom. He was like, so when do people mostly have sex? He's like, they're like, after the night out, after they've been on the booze. I'm like, oh yeah. Colin was like, we need to release a beer. And I was like, good idea. Then, through a friend of a friend, a brewery got in touch. I'm like, we want to make Raw Dog beer. So the they come to me, they be like, we're going to make raw dog beer, blah, 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 this price is all that. I was like, whatever, I'm not asked. I made one mistake with my beer is the price when we released it was too high, but that was because of the making and the brewery and people involved. That was my one mistake. I'll say this on camera now. I'm actually working hard to change that around. I want the beer in every bar place all over the world. I've had people from Brazil, from Spain, Dubai. I've had restaurants in town all wanting to stock it. So I know that this raw dog potentially for me is going to be, in 5 years' time, a massive earner.
Like proper 12 kind of Conor
Yeah.
McGregor-esque.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's a fun brand. People buy into it. But what's recently happened is G-Star Raw, I've sent a cease and desist letter. I don't even know what. Listen, I'm not the cleverest. They sent the letter and I was just like, solicitor, can you please read that? And it was basically, they want us to stop trading. They've basically said that they own the trademark for Raw, which is RAW, and we're basically trading and it's affecting whatever that means. Yeah. So they've sent this letter, I think last week or the week before. And when I've looked into it with my guys, they've sued Nike, H&M, they've sued so many people, and they're very brutal with it. So right now is like sort of the process of seeing where do we go,
Changing the name maybe.
Change the name, speak to them. Maybe they want to get involved. Maybe they got in touch because they love the brand. But that tells me that tells me a few things. That tells me that they feel threatened, and that tells me that this brand, even at this, it's been going a few months, has gathered so much momentum. Because everyone I speak now, the first thing they say to me, don't talk about Find the Scene. Raw Dog's smashing it, and I'm like, yeah, it actually is. We've done really well. It's fucking absolutely smashing it.
Fair play, brother.
I hope I get past that.
Yeah, fair play for all the businesses. For your achievements so far at the age of 27, it's phenomenal. You should be proud of yourself.
I am.
For how far you've come. From a lot of people take inspiration of what you're doing. A lot of people will be looking up to you. And I know all your stuff you do on social media is all a bit of fun and it's daft, but you're still only 27, mate. When I was your age, fuck me, man. I would get through off YouTube, mate, if I was to tell you the shit that I'd done, man. But for coming on today, brother, and telling your stories,
thank you.
I very much appreciate it. It's phenomenal. A shout out to Tony Morell and Craigie Boy at the Only Fools Bar for setting this up as well. I really appreciate it, and good luck for the future. World title in the next 18 months, and I look forward to seeing it. God bless you, brother. Check out more of my podcasts on the right, and be sure to like, share and comment your thoughts on this week's podcast. Thank you.